When it comes to Pokemon, some people might call me a nerd, which is 100% true. When it comes to Pokemon TCG Pocket, some people might call me an addict. I love this game so much. From being able to collect the cards, to battling, to a trading system that kinda pisses me off. I have 2 3-star Palkia EX cards. Please let me trade one for the DM. It truly feels like they took the Pokemon trading card game and made it more accessible to a larger group of people. At first glance. Because I'll be honest, there are also a lot of differences between the physical and digital card game. Sure, it still feels like the Pokemon TCG, but it's just different enough, you know? No need for damage counters, a much smaller scale battling system, but the difference I'm here to talk about are the cards. You see, a lot of these cards have art that is actually on a physical Pokemon card, but the abilities between cards that share a piece of art are actually quite different. As soon as I realized that these cards used old art, I did the only logical thing a Pokemon nerd like myself would do. I created a slideshow of comparisons for every single card. Hold on to your butts. This is going to be a long one. Let's talk Pokemon cards, shall we? No? No? Okay. Alright, for some quick context, this is Alan. He's my best friend, he also plays TCG Pocket, and is also a bit more well-versed in the physical card game. And I forced him to sit down with me for 3 hours to talk about these cards. If I'm the brains of this incredibly long discussion, that would probably make him the bigger brains of this discussion. Could not have done this without him. So, first of all, we're going to go over the cards that are actually original to Pokemon TCG Pocket. Just for the sake of going through all of them.
I think this Pokemon existed already, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, probably. So, of course, all the starters are original cards. I used to think that I had that Wartortle card until I googled and realized that it was not a original card. These 3 cards...
There's 4 cards.
4 cards. Well, I am physically pointing to the 3 on the left. The Bellsprout, the Oddish, and the Venonat are all connected cards to the full art Snorlax, and they're all original to this. A lot of... That's a common theme with these. A lot of the connected cards are original. Similarly, Electabuzz and Magmar are just really cool cards, by the way. I like the art on these.
It's like Electabuzz sometimes wins if it gets a coin flip.
Yeah. A common theme that I've realized when looking up these, all the Gen 8 Pokemon in this have original art, which is...
I mean, were they even in the set to begin with?
Yeah, these are part of that very first set. And like all the other Pokemon from different generations, gens 5, 6, 7 that have Pokemon in the first set have not original artwork, but these ones have original artwork for some reason. Probably because they have less cards to actually pick from, I would imagine. There's probably some reason to that. These 7 are a part of the Touring the Kanto region quest. They're all by different artists, but for some reason they're original art, which, I mean, again, I feel like I remembered having that Rattata or that Doduo, but no, they're original. The Pidgeline. Yeah. And of course, all the full art cards are original, all 23 plus the Snorlax from before. All the supporter cards, as well as their full arts.
Existing, man. I've lost count of how many freaking Pikachu packs I've gone for.
It sounds about right. All the EXs, as well as their full arts, are original. These 6 EX cards that exist for some reason are original.
Do they need a reason to exist?
I don't know. I mean, the 3 legendary birds make sense, but the other 3 are kind of...
Why did they pick Wigglytuff?
I don't know. And of course, all the
I'm not that stupid, Pikachu.
So all the animated cards, the 4 animated cards are original.
Actually, my uncle works at Nintendo. He gave me a physical Pikachu card, and it's animated and everything. but you can't see it.
Cool. And then, of course, the golden cards, which are just the full arts but gold.
Really?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell.
And now we move on to the actual card. The actual cards.
You know, I really thought we were gonna start with the card being worse than it was before. But
No, a lot of the art is actually better than it was
I'm
before.
not talking about the art. I'm talking about the effects.
Oh, the effects? No, the effects are, yeah. Yeah, like, I don't like, this is going to become a running theme, for sure. I don't like when cards do this, when they have two moves that are, like, one is objectively worse than the other.
But Logan, that one costs 2 energy. Means you can't use it on your first turn.
That's, I mean, yes, that's true. I don't know. It's just a personal thing. I'm not a giant fan of it, but
You're just a hater.
I am, in fact, just a hater. Spoilers, by the end of this, I will no longer be a hater. But yeah, just like the one on the right is a kind of whatever card. Headbutt, 10 damage, Entangling Thread. Has the same amount of damage, but also has the chance to paralyze. Okay. Meanwhile, the one on the left is probably significantly better for a grass deck.
It's the kind of card you would put in the deck just for its effect.
Yeah. And also... And also worth mentioning, just the health. It also got a health increase from 40 to 50.
Oh yeah.
It just that's one that'll get brought up a good chunk throughout this, is the changes in like weakness, retreat cost, HP, if they have a resistance.
I miss resistances.
Yeah, I miss resistances too. They were cool. So I guess moving on to Metapod.
It's worse. Significantly worse.
Yeah. So you could. That's another thing. A lot of these have like very moves with either similar energy cost, attack, or like name, but are just not as good. Like for TCG Pocket, Bug Bite, 2 colorless energy for 30 damage is definitely significantly worse than 40 damage Bug Bite, although that does cost 3 energy. That I don't know if that would
Who
be.
even cares? Who the hell's gonna use that card to attack? I'm looking at Iron Defense.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. Because, yeah.
Just flipping a coin and saying,
Yeah.
no, you can't hit me.
And, like, a 3 retreat cost, too?
Well, you put it out to stall, so it's not like you're really gonna retreat.
Yeah. So, like, these are definitely cards with very different uses.
We are not allowed to stall anymore. Fun has been made illegal.
Yeah. Like, this card could probably actually be used. This one's just the precursor to Butterfree. Speaking of Butterfree. Sort of similar cards?
No.
No? Well, this one, you can heal 20 damage from each of your Pokemon each turn, and a very similar...
Look. This card was made before the kids were traumatized by the episode. The kids who were traumatized by that episode grew up and now work for Nintendo.
I'm pretty sure this is a Sun and Moon card.
Shut up.
But yeah, this is a cool reference, the card. I really like that they put this reference in here. I think is this the Generations set?
I can't tell. You found the crustiest image known to mankind.
Yeah, worth mentioning. I got most of these from Cerebi.net. So I tried to make them look as best as possible, but some of them were just like, you'll see. Yeah, so this one is definitely like a one-time. Like that's a good move. Bye heal.
I think if you spent multiple turns evolving your Metapod and Caterpie into Butterfree, you deserve to have bye heal, and they took that away from me.
That's true. Although Powder Heal for like a lower scale.
I mean, don't get me
TCG.
wrong. It's just like it just stays on the bench now.
No, that is true. But they both have different uses. I would obviously choose.
I mean,
the original.
You could theoretically heal up to like just some of the cards in Sun and Moon have like 250 health.
Yeah.
You deal 240 damage in one turn.
Yeah. Although I think the highest that's in TCG Pocket right now is 180.
Keep it that way.
Yeah. But
Wait, why is it 180? What the hell?
I think. I don't know. Maybe it's gone up in the newer packs, but I haven't looked. And of course, Gust is just a weaker version of Stun Spore. That's just I would choose Butterfree, of course, over
Butterfree?
I would choose Butterfree over Butterfree.
Really? I would choose Butterfree over Butterfree.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I think we have the same opinion. There's only, I don't know. We'll fit.
Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy?
Weedle.
What did they do to my boy?
What did they do to my boy? Like, Sting. 20 damage for a grass energy, not even a colorless.
What the? No, they got rid of Call for Family.
That too. That is, yeah, that's a big one.
That was like a common move across like a bunch of Pokemon cards.
Yeah. Search your deck for yeah, and like,
is he an orphan now?
I guess so.
He's an orphan.
It got put on Caterpie, but Weedle didn't keep it.
Weedle is canonically an orphan.
I guess so. Yeah, search your deck for up to 2 grass basic Pokemon, put them on your bench, shuffle your deck afterwards. That is a very common move that a lot of Pokemon did have, and some Pokemon in TCG Pocket still do have. But, yeah, no, that's in...
What did they do to my boy?
And then Poison Spurt is decent, but... Yeah, why did they get rid of Call for Family? That was...
I don't know if I'd call that decent.
I don't know, you just poison...
You pretty much just use Call for Family.
Yeah, it's I feel sad.
I just think it's funny that you can send out a Weedle, use Call for Family, and then smack down like Pheromosa Buzzwole tag team. It's like, don't ever talk to me or my son again.
Kakuna.
What the hell? It is objectively not as funny.
Yeah.
What objectively not as funny.
Yeah, that is really funny. Bug Bite, same cost as Weedle's Sting, 30 damage.
Is the general theme here that we're genuinely just not allowed to have fun?
Maybe. We're doing this to find out. But yeah, Multiply. I love that. Search your deck for up to 3 Kakuna and put them onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. Does that mean you could just have 1 Weedle?
Yes. 1 Weedle.
That is awesome.
That's funny.
That is awesome. Like, if there are any really good Beedrill cards out there, that could be a really good card. And again, I'm not too familiar with like the original TCG. I'm more familiar with TCG Pocket, but I would love to see that card be used. Yeah. And then other than that, not too many. There's not really any other differences. Beedrill.
Why? Why are we not allowed to have fun? That's hilarious. That's a genuinely good strategy.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of Beedrill cards and a bunch of Kakuna cards.
Are those the same? No, they're not the same set. But that would be awesome.
It's funny.
Get a bunch of that Kakuna card, put a bunch of Beedrills on there, and then just.
So far, all I've seen is fun be removed from the game.
Yeah, I mean these are a lot of like.
I'm just imagining patch notes minus fun.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Only use this attack or Pokemon.
Also, I don't understand why they got rid of like the 5 out of 181. I always thought that was cool to look at. To see
yeah,
it was.
That's true. I did like that. I mean, there is the catalog now, but I do miss having that on the card itself. I agree. And then Reckless Charge is definitely probably better than Sharp Sting.
Yeah.
And
I mean, technically they're both the same amount of good because it's only 1 energy for
that's
Sharp
true.
Sting, but
that's true. And then to top all this off, it lost 10 health.
I didn't even notice that. It's just not allowed to have fun.
I need to play the TCG. I want to play the TCG now using only these cards that we see.
No items, Final Destination, Beedrill, and Kakuna.
That's cool. Oddish was one of the ones from before that we said was original. Gloom. If your opponent's bench is
They neutered it.
If heads, your opponent reveals their hand, put a basic Pokemon you find there onto their bench.
That's good.
That is good. And like, I mean,
Because you get to just see their hand. That's a good card.
that is a really good card. Yeah, like besides the putting the basic Pokemon you find there onto the bench, the reveal
smells incredibly foul.
Yeah, no, but yeah, revealing your hand is really powerful, and it got delegated to an item card, not a trainer card now.
Fun.
I mean, they did buff Drool.
So?
Yeah, you're right. All right, took a break to get some snacks. Vileplume.
Oh my god.
Love poison scent.
That's just funny.
Yeah. Flip a coin if it's the poison and confused. If tails, poisoned and asleep. It's just guaranteed poison. But tails does something really good.
Yeah. I mean, and I do like the fact that you can block supporter cards.
Yeah. Like,
Because it, like, I always just hate Lysander. I hate being switched out
Yeah.
forcefully.
yeah, and like it's also a very strong effect in TCG Pocket, especially because with only 20 cards in a deck, you can often have as many as like 4 or 5 support, like a quarter of your deck being supporters.
Which is exactly why they decided we weren't allowed to do that.
Now there is a card that does that. I don't remember which one, but
So why can't Vileplume do it?
I don't know, but it can do 80 damage and put your opponent to sleep.
Yep, this is the first one where I'd say, you know what? You just made a different card.
Yeah,
It's not a buff. It's not a nerf.
I mean,
I would lean to it being more of a buff because more HP, more
significantly more HP.
and the fact that weakness isn't doubled anymore.
Yeah. Well, I think in this era it was, I think it was plus 20 in this era or plus 10. Before it was times 2.
You may be correct.
I don't know. Some cards are plus 10, some are plus 20, some are times 2. I don't know what it is when it says nothing. I'll put it up on screen probably. You enjoying those airheads?
I haven't even opened them yet.
Paris.
How dare you dox me like this? I see you eyeing those super sour gushers.
I haven't even opened them yet. These are... They exist.
They combined the moves.
Yeah. Like, they literally took them, merged them together. 10 plus 20 equals 30. Wow, these are actually really sour gushers. I love these.
God damn!
Not really much to say on these. Again, I don't...
Even if the bug bugs the mushrooms, they tell it to bug off.
I love that. I mean, these Pokedex entries, I think, come from from the games somewhere. I think each entry comes from a mainline game, but I could be wrong for some of them.
Interesting.
But yeah, I don't know how I feel about... Again, I mentioned it earlier. I don't know how I feel about when, like, 2 cards, like, 2 moves like this, where one, sure, you can do this on your first turn and this on your second, but, like, is the 10 damage really that worth it?
I would prefer my card to have multiple moves.
I mean, fair. Like, that,
But,
it's just my opinion.
Like,
I don't know.
I would say it's a buff overall because it does more damage now.
Yeah.
But I would still like to have had... Well, I was gonna say I'd like to have had Scratch, but they got rid of Slash and made Scratch Slash.
Scratch.
Scratch! Scratch!
Yep. Parasect.
What's your mouth?
Don't worry, it'll be censored in post.
Fuck.
I don't. If you don't want yours to be censored, that's.
It's a joke.
Okay.
Comedic timing.
Parasect.
Parasect! Fury Cutter just looks fun.
It does. Like, that's
It really... I'm a big sucker for healing, like, draining moves.
that too. I love, like, yeah, no, that's like, That's why I always pick Bulbasaur. Or like grass types, because I like the idea of just draining health.
Fury Cutter looks fun.
It does look fun. I love the idea behind it. With 3 coins, depending on how many heads there are, it does...
Look, I don't know why they wouldn't just keep Parasect the same, because now it's just Vileplume with 20 less health.
And not the bonus effect. I don't think anyone ever used this card. I don't think a single person has used this card. Although, it does have both higher health and a lower retreat cost.
Yeah, but it's just worse Vileplume.
Yeah. Although, again, lower retreat cost than Vileplume's. That's, I guess, the thing with... I guess that's what balances out, but no, this card is just... And honestly, like, Parasect in general doesn't have that much going for it, I don't think.
It doesn't, but they made it have something going for it before.
Yeah.
And now, it just does Slash. And I said I wanted Scratch.
Yeah. They took Slash from Paris and gave it to Parasect. That's what happened. How dare they. Venomoth. Venonat was... Poison Powder is identical.
That's a straight up nerf.
Yeah.
In what universe did Venomoth need a nerf?
This is a complete nerf. Like, nothing about this is better than the original.
But Logan, it only takes 20 extra damage from fire.
Oh no! Oh my god, you're right! So what?
Moving on.
Weepin' Bell.
Why can't he do double Razor Leaf anymore?
I don't know. Why is it only single Razor Leaf?
And Growth. We got rid of Growth.
Yeah, like Growth has returned on other cards, but did the Razor Leafs break up or something?
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's a shame. And, I mean, higher retreat cost sucks, but also higher health. Again, like...
Okay, what is the point of retreat cost if all your cards do the same damn thing?
I don't know. A lot of the not fully evolved cards in TCG Pocket are not that good and are really just there to have something to do before you get to the fully evolved version. Speaking of which, Victory Bell! Once during your turn before your attack, you may switch one of your opponent's bench stage 2 evolved Pokemon with one of the defending Pokemon. Your opponent chooses the defending Pokemon to switch. This power can't be used if Victory Bell is affected by a special condition.
It just looks like they simplified the ability.
Yeah.
Not nerf, but just simplified.
Yeah, it's simplified. Like, a lot of Victor Bell cards have that kind of ability. They just simplified the wording.
I'd call this a buff.
I would also say it's a buff. And I talked to you
But
about...
again, 140 health,
Yeah.
grass energy, damage. This is fucking
Although that ability...
Vileplume.
That ability is honestly incredible. And then, what about the moves on the right? Sleep Poison is solid. Sleep and Poison. And then Sharp Leaf is just just a weaker version of Executor EX in TCG Pocket.
It's like they just gave it Vine Whip so that you would just do consistent damage, I guess. I mean, it pairs well with the idea with the switching, being able to switch Pokemon, because that is a good amount of damage to be able to do. Like, I mean, that's just right. I'd say just the right amount of damage to be able to do with that ability. But overall, I don't know which one I prefer. Probably the TCG Pocket version, because mostly because of the health. Yeah.
Yeah. 100 health. I mean, this is an older card, so it makes sense that it has lower health for a stage 2, but, you know, I love this card. You may have noticed earlier, but I glossed over a very good point Alan made that I will be coming back to later. Moving on to Execute.
Why did they have to rename the move?
I don't know. I love that Continuous Explosion, and that move got that move is now delegated to an Eevee card, where it's continuous something. I don't know what, but it's the same idea.
Just slightly less fine.
Yeah, this is a nerf. Executor.
Just worse.
Yeah. Cold Shot is... I like the idea behind Cold Shot. I don't think I've seen that before. Choose one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. This attack does 10 damage times the amount of grass energy attached to Exeggutor.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, we're just removing utility here. We're making the same card with a different image.
This is honestly a theme with a lot of these cards, where Exeggutor has an EX form in this set, and this is just a worse version of it in every way, because it has pretty much the exact same move with the same energy cost, just higher damage.
Disappointing.
Yeah, there's just no reason to use the card on the left. The one on the right is cool.
It's unique.
It is unique. That's the thing about
And it's like, I'd rather a card, like, the card on the left, you're gonna overlook it because it's like either 30 or 60 damage. Just use Victory Bell.
Yeah.
Or if you need it to be stage 1, even the Parasect would be better.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the good thing about it is low energy cost, but even then, it also has significantly higher.
I guess. But like,
it also has significantly higher HP than the original.
It's just not unique.
Okay. Yeah.
And also 3 retreat cost versus 1.
Yeah, that's
What the hell?
I don't know. This card is just not worth it at all in TCG Pocket. Tangela.
What did you do?
Hold on.
No. What did you do?
Hold on. I could not find a good quality version of this card. And also this card
I can tell.
And also, this card is exclusive to Japan.
What the f***?
So I think the Japanese cards that I found, most of the cards I took images from Cerebi. The Japanese cards I took from Bulbapedia, because that's where I was able to. I think that's where I was able to find a lot of them easier.
This looks like a straight up buff.
Yeah, and honestly, again, there's not much that could. Water resistance also on the one on the right.
I miss resistances.
I do miss resistances. And some of these cards are going to have resistances. I will try to point them out when I notice them. This is a bit of a buff, although I don't know how to feel about this card because this set is about the original 151. So there's no Tangrowth in this set.
I guess that's why they gave it a straight up buff.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's an okay card, I guess, if you need like something to like a grass Pokemon to fill a slot in your deck, but
I always forget Tangrowth exists, even though Heart Gold Soul Silver is like inside of my veins, because I don't think it was ever used. That's a whole different rant I can go on though.
Yeah. I mean, it is. I do think it's cool that this.
I can't help but notice you did not translate the name of this Pokemon, and thus I do not know what it's named. I'm not being serious, Logan.
I know, but I'm trying to see if I can. What is that?
G.
Monjara?
Fucking weep.
Scyther!
Scyther! Where's Slash?
Why do they keep getting rid of Slash? Where did the HP go?
Where did the HP go?
There's no Scizor in this set. Why is there no HP either?
What the hell?
I did look. Again, another card that I don't think I've seen very much of. I would call this a flat out nerf.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, you could say that it balances out by the lower energy cost for Sharp Scythe, but
I mean, I don't really think that's worth the nerf to hit the ground running.
Yeah, no. I don't even think there's been a Scizor card yet in PCG Pocket.
Certified cringe.
Yeah, unfortunate. Oh. Pinsir.
Squeeze.
I love that. And
oh, come on! That's funny!
Again, that's the same as, which, Pokemon had that? Beedrill had a similar move earlier. Where it was, if they both have damage on them, they are both knocked out.
No, if Beedrill has damage on it.
Oh, okay. And then, yeah, this one is just flip 2, just 1 in 4 chance that it happens.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Oh no, but that your opponent's active Pokemon is not Pinsir.
You either do 0, 50, or 100. So an average of 30-ish damage.
That's true on the right. Also, lower...
Or if you're me, an average of 0 damage.
Yeah.
Misty, we need a fight.
Yeah, and also lower retreat costs, lower health. I'd prefer the one on the right.
Absolutely. Grip and squeeze. That's funny.
That got a good laugh out of you. Okay. Now, that is a Gen 6 card on the right. And Cottony is also part fairy type.
Could you not have kept the sleep?
Yeah. No, this is a good opportunity to talk about the fact that they're different types.
I could have overlooked it if it wasn't a nerf.
Yeah.
But, like, what the f does this card do?
I don't know. Yeah, and you could... I mean, health increase. Obviously, different weakness. Instead of steel, it's fire. Losing the dark resistance. I miss resistances, man.
I miss resistances, man.
Yeah, this is just a nerf.
An objectively funnier Pokedex entry.
Shoots cotton from its body to protect itself. If it gets caught up in hurricane strength winds, it can get sent to the other side of the earth. Oh, I'm gonna have a fun time editing this.
Wait, are they canonically on Earth?
That's a good question. Whimsicott!
Whimsicott! Where's my Windy Mischief?
I don't know.
That's funny, because I would like to,
Wait a sec.
I would like to move all of the damage from my,
Yeah.
like, Wailord and Magikarp
Yeah.
onto the Pokemon with 50
I
HP.
always get confused by the moves that say put 1 damage counter on a Pokemon.
Okay, so tell me you've never played the Pokemon card trading game without telling me you've never played that.
Well, no.
You see, back in my day, there were damage counters, right?
Well, no, I know what the damage counters
Shut
are.
up. There were damage counters, and they were 10 damage each. So you would put the damage counters on, and when you got to 50, you would move it to a 50.
Right, but now having the 50 and 100 damage counters, I always get confused. Like what if you were to just put the 100 damage counter on?
I tried that a lot against my dad.
It didn't work?
No.
Okay.
A damage counter is a 10 damage. Put the little circle on screen.
Okay, it makes sense, but it always...
For the next minute, that damage counter will be bouncing around the screen, and it may or may not hit the corner. Have fun editing that, dumbass.
Yeah, alright. Yeah, so... You know, it just kind of always bugs me when it says move all damage counters, or put 1 damage counter on a Pokemon, as opposed to, say, it deals 10 damage to one Pokemon. In this case, it makes sense, because I don't know how you would word
These
that.
are cards.
I mean, yeah.
So, like, the wording doesn't really make a difference.
That's true. Anyway, Petalil, that's a buff.
Is it?
Heal 10 damage from each of your Pokemon. Versus...
This is more of, like, a side grade. Like...
Yeah, you're right.
I guess they just really don't like Pokemon not being able to do damage in the TCG pocket.
Yeah, because, well, I mean, a lot of Pokemon... It doesn't have the same thing with normal TCG where all the cards... Where, like, the HP on cards keep getting higher. Yet. But, so... A lot of these cards have kind of the Gen 1 era types of moves, I feel like.
No, even then they were more creative moves.
That's...
Remember the Executor?
Yeah. You're right. Well, I don't think that was a base set card.
You said Gen 1 era.
Was it a Gen 1 era?
It looked pretty damn old. I think that's Gold and Silver.
That's Gold and Silver. Lilligant.
Get in the zone. Energy zone. Give me energy cards back.
Yeah, I miss energy cards. That's another thing. Like, this is cool. Like that's a good card for most grass
It has
decks.
good utility.
It's a very good utility card. The one on the right is more so, like, actually to do damage.
Screams Lilligant.
Yeah.
A lot of the old cards had, like, an aspect of the Pokemon's personality in them, like Beedrill just killing itself to kill you.
Yeah, like a bee would.
Yeah. And then Lilligant focusing on Petal Dance.
Right. And I'm sure we're going to see more of that as we go on.
I mean, but what is... I mean, Leaf Supply, you could argue Lilligant is like the Leavanny-type babysitter.
I guess so.
But that's why a lot of the nurse make me mad, because, like, Grip and Squeeze, Guillotine Hug, Super Explosion, like, these are just, like, so unique to the Pokemon. Nectarpod Assassin Flight. Mushroom Drain.
Addictive Pollen. Irresistible Aroma.
It's
yeah.
like and Multiply.
Multiply.
Multiply is still my favorite.
Oh,
I'm spoiling things.
Cedo.
I hate Surprise Attack. I hate this move.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I mean... Sorry, I got a gusher in my mouth. I got a gusher in my teeth.
Pause? Someone's gushing in your mouth?
Oh no. I don't know how I feel about Surprise Attack. It's
How do you feel about someone gushing in your mouth?
sour.
Oh, God.
So, I don't know how I feel about Surprise Attack. Because it is a unique move. Flip a coin of tails, the attack does nothing.
It is, in fact, not a unique move. I've seen so many Pokemon with this move.
I mean, yeah. So far, it's been unique to that side. It's more unique than a lot of the other TCG pockets we've seen so far.
More unique than Seed Bomb.
Yeah. And also 2 energy for a 20 damage move. I don't know if that's...
Well, it depends on what Go-Go looks like.
That is the same set on the right.
Pokemon's attacks do 80 more damage to your opponent's grass Pokemon?
That is a good-ass ability.
That's a really good ability, and I've made my stance on HP draining moves known. Nerf. This is a nerf.
This is I mean, yeah, obviously this is a nerf. Because it's the same energy cost without the secondary effect and less damage. But I would love to see that card actually used. Grass deck versus grass deck.
No, but like it's actually good utility. Cause like,
Yeah.
who would expect a grass Pokemon to be good?
Against grass Pokemon.
Exactly. But Sap Sipper.
Yeah. It's like not a lot of cards. I mean, I think we're gonna see another kind of card like that later. I think, not with that ability, but with a move that does more damage to a specific type. Don't remember which one, but I think we are going to see that later. This is my cue to put the word foreshadowing on the screen. Now we're on to the fire types. Vulpix.
I mean, I kind of like that move. It's the same thing as Harden.
Yeah, like I like using Vulpix only because I like using Ninetales, which we will get to.
But
Ascension.
the fact that you can just skip,
Like,
you
you could
don't
just-
have to wait for Ninetales to appear in your hand or
Right.
have cards dedicated to getting Ninetales.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call this.
I think a side grade. That's the word you used before, right?
Yeah.
They have
It's just a different card.
like one is for quickly getting to Ninetales, and one is to be able to stall until you get Ninetales.
Okay. And they let this card do no damage.
Yeah.
Why did they have to change the other cards?
I don't know.
Ninetales!
Ninetales. I love this card.
I don't. What the f? Once starting your turn before your attack, you may discard. That's a lot of fire energy to this card.
Yeah. You do switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon.
Okay,
with their
you know
active
what?
Pokemon.
That's actually not that bad.
Yeah. I just love the card on the left. It is one of my favorite cards in the game to use, solely because that's 90 damage for only 2 fire energy. If your opponent's weak, that's plus 20, so 110. You use a Blaine card, that's plus 30, 140 damage.
Okay, but like that means I have to use a Blaine card.
There's a Blaine deck in the game.
Yeah, I know.
Blaine equals big damage.
Growler! Why can't he combustion?
I don't know. This feels like I don't know how to feel about this one, because we got lower retreat cost, lower health, but the energy is different. Went from 1 fire, 1 colorless to 2 colorless.
Well, yeah, he's not combusting anymore.
That's true. He's just a numb.
Wouldn't it be weird if he needed to use fire to move his mouth?
That's true. That is a good thought, actually. Like, do the names of the moves actually influence the type of energy?
I wonder.
We're gonna have to keep a look. We're gonna have to keep a lookout for that. Let's see.
Arcanine!
With Arcanine.
What the hell? What did they do to my boy?
The one on the right is very much just like Mewtwo EX with lower health on a fire type card.
Yeah, but like
With the also added bonus of being.
I guess you usually use Flare Blitz on Arcanine, so I'm used to it doing damage to itself.
Yeah, so
But
that's fitting.
If you think
left.
about it, it looks like discard 3 fire energy Pokemon from it was like, holy crap, you're not gonna be able to do damage for 3 turns. But the amount of Pokemon that automatically attach fire energy to your Pokemon.
Yeah, that can be...
It's like, it almost 190 damage is significant.
Yeah, and like that's what a lot of people use that with Mewtwo and Gardevoir, because Gardevoir allows you to attach psychic energy, and honestly, that's what Moltres is for. Moltres EX.
Yes, true. Moltres.
Although I don't like the card on the left because it's a solid card for 3 energy. I don't know if I haven't gotten very much use out of it.
I don't think it should do 20 damage to itself. I think it should do 10 to itself.
Yeah. It's also just, again, a little bit of a weaker version of Arcanine EX.
Well,
and again,
they also could have just made it more unique, but...
Yeah. And Arcanine is also not boosted by Blaine.
Why?
I don't know. Blaine boosts Ninetales, Rapidash, which we'll see later, and Magmar.
But not Arcanine? Did he have an Arcanine?
I don't know. But I kind of hate that he boosts Rapidash, and you'll see why when we get to it. After this.
Oh, minor errand running.
Yeah. Minor errand running. Makes sense. It's a horse. It can run.
But, like, they very well could have kept that in addition to Flare.
Yeah. Although, they'd have to change it in a way that would work with TCG Pocket not having energy cards.
They could just give me my goddamn energy cards back.
Yeah. I'd love for there to be a mode, at least, where you can do, like, OG TCG Pocket with... Or OG TCG with TCG Pocket cards.
Nintendo doing things for the good of their consumers? Impossible!
I mean, okay, higher damage flare, lower health. I don't like... I'm not a big fan of it.
Why Ponyta allowed to use fire, but Growlithe not use fire?
I don't know. What I also don't know is why that's only 40 damage on Rapidash.
40 damage?
Sure, it's boosted by Blaine to do up to 70.
But, like, Rapidash is just weak.
Yeah.
Which sucks, because it's so cool. Look at that thing.
It also got a retreat cost.
Oh my god, and it got a retreat cost. Yeah, it's never good.
Yeah, and like on the right, Overrun, 30 damage to your opponent's bench Pokemon, and 30 damage to the regular Pokemon? That's what the number there means?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I should probably say this attack also does, because I know that's...
No, it's...
Is it just 30?
Attack does 30 damage, and as an additional effect, it does 30 damage.
I know, but some cards use the word also.
Flareon!
Flareon! I have seen...
Give me Flare Effect back.
Yeah. Each Stage 1 Pokemon in play is now a Fire Pokemon in addition to its existing types. That is... awesome!
Yeah, and it lets you do things like... Oh, what was it, Kiawe or something? Kiawe attach it, it's a supporter card.
Yeah.
You attach 4 fire energy to a Pokemon and end your turn.
Okay.
I used to use that a lot. But it needs to be a fire-type Pokemon for you to do that.
Yeah.
So
that could work.
Tapu Lele, Kiawe, Energy Store.
That's... yeah. And in TCG Pocket, I have not seen the Flareon, Vaporeon, or Jolteon in the Genetic Apex set used at all.
Why is Flareon stronger than Arcanine?
I don't know.
Why is it stronger than... Huh?
I don't get it. Huh? I mean... And yeah, Flamethrower is a good, probably really good move.
It's beyond really good. 110?
Yeah, and I've seen not very many people use that the move. Or not, a card.
What the hell? I'll make a Moltres Flareon deck.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Also, gained a retreat cost and 30 health.
I'm doing that right now.
Alright. Yeah, we'll save that. The Moltres!
Where's Wing Attack?
I don't know. I think they got merged again. Somewhat.
No. Okay. No. Because now you don't have guaranteed damage. Which is just not good.
Flip a coin if
Let me paint a picture for you, right?
Okay.
Pokemon with 140 health. You successfully use Sky Attack, and on the next turn, they have 2 prize points, you have 2 prize points. You flip Tails. When you could have just used Wing Attack.
Yeah.
That's a nerf. I don't care if it has... And it has 20 less health.
Yeah.
And 20 less damage.
And it lost the fighting resistance. I miss resistances.
I miss resistances.
We're gonna keep saying that every single time.
That's the joke.
Yep. Heat more.
Give me fiery licks back. That's just funny.
Yeah, fiery licks. It's an anteater. That's its... Discard the top 4 cards of your deck. This attack does 50 damage times the number of fire energy cards you discarded. Love that.
Like, that's...
Fun, honestly.
That's fun.
Like, that could be either really good or just like, whatever. Like, I tried. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with a defending Pokemon.
But now it's just bad.
Yeah. Luring Flame's okay, too. Lost a retreat cost, lost some health.
That's actually really good.
What? The Luring Flame?
Yeah. And they're burned.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. I missed that card. I might have that card, physically.
You probably do.
It
came free with your fucking human existence. There's so many of them.
Yeah, any of these cards that I have, I'll show to the camera and afterwards at some point. Couldn't find the heat more, but I did find the Petalil from earlier, so I will be showing the ones that I have as I find them. Like, just in post.
No.
So land it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
But apparently Salandit needs to use fire energy to use its claws.
That's exactly what we were talking about earlier, where it's like, why are the moves could probably influence the energies. That should be a colorless energy. So, yeah. Higher damage, lower health, pick your poison.
And it's not even poison type!
Yeah, pick your poison type. Pick your not poison type. Salazzle.
Roast reveal. Why can't...
That's a good...
It got neutered.
It got neutered.
It got spayed.
It got spayed, yeah. Lost some health. Yeah, unfortunate. I have used this card in a deck, though. It's 2 energy for a 60 attack move. I can't complain too much. Like, it saved me in some battles. Can't complain too much about it. Onto the water types. Psyduck.
Actually, that's not that bad.
That's funny. Both active Pokemon are now confused.
Yeah, it's not as funny, but it's good, at least.
And then your opponent can't... And then Headache. This is what we were talking about before, where your opponent can't use any supporter cards from their hand during their next
Yeah, that's good.
Lost some health, lost a retreat cost. This is going to become a running theme for the water types. They were grass type weakness. Became electric type or lightning weakness.
Lightning.
So, again, pick your poison. I like the one on the right. This is the point where I realized that the quality of the cards when making this slideshow are not that good. So I tried my best to adjust the brightness to make them look as visible as good as possible.
I just like Natural Remedy.
Yeah.
That just looks good. Powerful Splash. Pretty cool.
Yeah, this is a, honestly, is it? I don't know if I call it a straight up nerf or buff.
It lost a bit of personality.
Yeah. Although, that, again, it is a good card on the left.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. But we haven't gotten to a lot of the really good ones. And this is one where it is actually had a lightning weakness that stayed instead of the grass weakness. Poliwag, on the other hand, does have the grass weakness.
Give me Cobra Family back!
And Razor Fin for only 10 damage? What? I'm sad. What'd you do to my little boy?
What the heck?
Poliwag. It's,
Bumblebee.
yeah.
I mean, it's simplified.
It's simplified, but it's not, got a higher retreat cost, higher health. Punch. Now punches with its knuckles specifically.
Yep.
Yeah, specifically with the knuckles.
That's more of a jab, and that hurt me as much as it hurt you.
And then Bubble Beam is solid. I mean, 30 damage, but 3 energy cost? I don't know how worth it that would be. Poliwrath, though, has a really good, I like its ability.
Yeah, but it was able to do 180 damage.
Yeah, and like that move is technically not well, not even technically. It's impossible in TCG Pocket because you can only have up to 2 of the same Pokemon of the same card on your
That's true.
deck. So you can't have 3 Poliwrags.
No fun allowed.
Yeah, that one is like legitimately not allowed. It would have to be changed in some way. I also want to point out that that with the artwork, the cards that the weaknesses went from grass to electric back to grass.
Interesting.
It is interesting. That ability is cool, but I would also love to see the original of this in play.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
Now Tentacruel. Tentacruel was one of the original cards, and there is a lot to say about this Tentacruel because it is
that one in particular.
Because it is psychic type. If you pick your head up.
Shut up! I'm trying to get my hourglasses.
So, very simplified on the left.
Void tentacles.
Confusing and poison. Clearly the card on the right has an opinion on what kinds of cards you should be using in that deck.
It's just racism. It's
Yeah.
just racism.
Yeah. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from Ultra Beasts. Yeah. Clearly you have an opinion on what kind of Pokemon you'd like to be battling, Tentacruel.
Yeah, our Pokemon are a little racist.
Yeah. Obviously different weakness. This one's, well, it's a psychic card, so it's psychic weakness. Higher health, higher retreat
Which
cost.
is funny because it's supposed to be representing poison type.
Yeah. Now poison types are represented by dark types.
I think that makes sense.
I think it makes more sense.
Because
But yeah, poison was first represented by grass, then by psychic, and now by dark, which I think makes the most sense now. Even without that secondary effect on Tentacruel on the right, okay card.
yeah,
Yeah,
but now it's just.
sad.
I mean,
Not sad. No, it's an okay card.
it still has personality.
Yeah, like poison tentacles. That's so. Though void tentacles sounds cool.
It does sound way cooler. Why couldn't they just keep the name?
I don't know. Seal.
Seal.
This is a base set card, I think.
Maybe.
Buff. Just flat out buff.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, except for the higher retreat cost, but that doesn't make too much difference. Again, never really seen this card be used. I don't even remember what the Dugong looks like. That's why.
Give me thick fat back.
Yeah, I mean, I think a Pokemon in Space Time Smackdown. I think Mamoswine has thick fat. Yeah, this was what I was talking about. Ice Shard. If the defending Pokemon is a fighting Pokemon, this base damage is 80 instead of 30.
Okay.
Really unique. Again, I might have this card. I don't remember. And then Aurora Beam for 4 energy doing 70 damage? I don't know about that.
I mean, not great.
Not great. Ice Shard is really where it's at. If you're going against a fighting deck, that's a good card. Also, Steel weakness, going to Lightning weakness, or Metal, whatever. Metal. And then going from 100 HP to 120 HP. Okay. Again, pick. Well, no, I'd pick the one on the right. I don't. The one on the left doesn't really have enough going for it.
I also like that it's specifically level 40.
Yeah. Well, this was, I think, yeah, the era where they gave levels to cards, and we're gonna see a couple.
It's cute. I like that.
Yeah, we're gonna see a couple of those. Shelter, leak, tongue slap,
Iron grip.
yeah, and then lick, which is the same move except it has the chance to pick this. But tongue slap. Yeah. As opposed to, it's not a lick, it's a slap.
Which is funny.
It is funny. I like that. Also got a buff in HP. You got a low buff in HP? I don't know if I'd go with... Again, this is another kind of pick your poison.
But that's a water ice type.
You're right. How could I have been so blind? Poison.
Monster!
Shell armor is just good.
Oh my god. Wait a minute. They gave it an ability instead of taking it away?
Yeah, well, there was a couple that did that. Surf is identical.
Sudden Grip.
Sudden Grip. This Pokemon evolved from Shelter during this turn. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. Actually, solid. Like a solid like a fake out. Like the TCG equivalent to fake out.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Again, went from grass weakness to lightning weakness. Got a higher retreat cost, higher health. I don't know. They're both, again, kind of different utilities depending on. Like, if you were to merge these cards together, that would be an awesome card.
I still feel like the new one's okay.
The new one's okay. I like the minus 10 damage from attacks. And then, yeah, honestly, the new one might be better.
I'd say.
Although, I can see why people would like the one on the right, too.
Because it's objectively funnier.
Yeah. Randy! Buff.
Less funny name, huh?
Yeah. Vital Pinchers versus Vice Grip. Well, Vice Grip is a move in the game, but Vital Pinchers. Vital freaking Pinchers.
It's just a funny guy.
Yeah. Although that buff from 40 HP to 70 HP was definitely needed.
Really good. Like a really good buff.
Like, that was needed. The higher I don't know how I feel about the higher retreat cost, though. Kingler.
A funnier name? KO Crab?
KO Crab.
KO
Crab.
That's really strong?
Yeah. Again,
What the hell?
Again, I haven't seen this used that much in the game. And I feel like a lot of people... I don't know how many people have really made custom decks. Like, I'm sure a lot of people have.
I hate the fact that you just said that.
Well, let me rephrase that. I don't do enough of the actual, like, competitive battles. I don't know what, like, the meta looks like. Like, what people are actually putting into their cards. Or into their decks. But I don't know how... I guess I don't know how common each card is. Like, I usually just... I'll take the deck templates that they give and sort of modify them to be a little better, in my opinion. But, like, Kingler's not in any of them, I don't think. And so...
Surprisingly good.
Yeah. Yeah, like, that's pretty good. Although, on the right is also, it's, like, Bubble Beam. Okay. Massive Rend.
Takes a lot of energy, but...
Takes a lot of energy. Also takes 4 energy to retreat.
I like the one on the left better.
Honestly, yeah. KO Crab.
KO Crab.
Horsey. I wouldn't call this a buff necessarily.
I mean, the frequency in which you would need
water
to damage something on the bench.
It's not incredibly common.
I'd say, yeah. Not really common.
It's a little bit situational, but it can be useful in the worst of times.
Yeah.
Again, grass type weakness originally. I like both of them. Again, haven't seen Horsey use that much, and that's again because there's no. I feel like because there's no Kingdra card.
Yeah.
Seadra though, this might be another one that I do actually have, and I don't remember. I'd have to look.
I like the one on the left better.
Yeah.
50 damage to any Pokemon they have is really good.
Yeah, as opposed to the 10 on Horsey in the original, got put on Seadra for more damage. I would say good.
Good.
The 70 damage is kind of where it not falls apart, but that's where the downside lies.
You mean health?
Yeah. What did I say? Damage?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The one on the right is another kind of one where it feels kind of basic, but like more so a precursor to whatever the final form is.
Well, yeah, but Seadra's the final form here, so they did.
In this case, they did a good job with Seadra. I like that card. I kind of want to use it. Goldie. Bad. Honestly, both like Flail. Not really gonna get that much use out of it with only 50 health.
I mean, it's weak to electric.
Yeah.
So it gets...
It is plus 10 weakness, which is unique.
I mean, I just feel like the one on the right's a little better.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously. Like a flat 10 damage versus either 10 damage for number of damage counters or 10 damage times number of heads flipped. It is only level 7, so whatever. Seeking. What do we think is funnier, Horn Hazard or Soaking Horn?
Horn Hazard.
Although it's another surprise attack.
It's just not great.
Soaking Horn is solid. If this Pokemon was healed during this turn, this attack does 80 more damage.
Which is pretty unique.
Yeah. Like, pair that with, say, TCG Pocket's Butterfree.
Yeah. Except I don't know why you would use multiple types in TCG Pocket.
There are Dragon-type Pokemon which use multiple types of energies.
I mean multiple types of Pokemon.
There are some reasons. I don't know them, but there are probably some reasons. I don't know. Which one do we think is better here? Got a buff in HP, got a buff in retreat cost.
Probably the one on the left.
Yeah. Staryu. Health increase, weakness change, got a retreat cost. The move's the exact same.
Yeah.
What do you think is more important? Do you think the health increase, but also the retreat cost increased? Would you call this a buff or a nerf? Which do you think would be more important?
Are there any cards that don't have retreat cost?
That's Staryu.
No shit, Sherlock. In TCG Pocket.
Electro.
Yeah, maybe they just put more value on no retreat cost.
Probably. So, I mean, would you call this a buff or a nerf? You think?
Side grade.
Side grade?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't know how significant that 10 HP would actually be.
It's more the fact that you strictly get one energy per turn.
That's true. That's
and you would have to spend one of them.
Yeah. Starmie. This is... Give me back Corgar.
Yeah. Give it back.
And then Energy Flip is really good too.
This is another case of them just oversimplifying the cards.
Yeah. Oh, no retreat cost.
Yeah. So I mean, they didn't really try to nerf it. They just made it less unique, in my opinion.
Yeah. This is just the water type version of Ponyton Rapidash.
Yeah.
Health increase. Not too much else really that I would. Like, Rapidash at least has the benefit of being boosted by Bling.
It is just kind of boring.
Yeah.
Corp.
About what you'd expect.
Yeah.
And Splash does something, although Water Splash is obviously better.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's...
Magikarp's not really supposed to do anything.
Yeah, it's not really supposed to do anything super cool, but I wish it was at least... Well, I mean, it really is just the precursor to Gyarados.
Yep.
They both have Hyper Beam.
Looks like a buff to me.
It looks like a buff. Although the loss of Hydro Splash, I don't know how you'd feel about it, because I know you like the multiple moves.
In the case like this, where it requires 4 energy to do a thing,
usually worth it.
I'd like a second
on
this guy.
Okay. Health increase. Retreat cost went up to 4 energy.
You're not really gonna take Gyarados out.
No, but I guess
it makes sense why it would be 4 energy. You're gonna have to completely disarm the thing in order to get it out of there.
Yeah.
Because that's a powerful card and can't really have mobility.
Yeah. Lost of fighting resistance. I miss resistances.
I miss resistances.
Lapras.
I want to go for a swim.
Yeah. That's like Lapras' whole thing. We get to go for a swim, and honestly, solid. That's a solid ability.
Yeah. What did they do to my boy though?
I don't know. I mean, Hydro Pump has its uses.
Yeah.
If you get the Misty to work, which no one ever does, but I've lost to that thing turn 1 before. Had a Steel weakness. Probably could have kept it.
How did you lose turn 1?
They used a Misty card.
Yeah, but that would only be 2 points even if you had an EX out.
I didn't have any Pokemon on my bench.
Okay.
Yeah, loss of HP probably would have. If it had the HP it had before, this could probably be a little bit more of a card I'd use. But as it stands right now, I like Ice Beam a little bit more.
Yeah. Even though it's less unique.
Yeah, it's less unique. The chance to paralyze, I like it. Vaporeon. I know for a fact I have this card.
Did you know?
I did, in fact, know that I had this card.
Incredible.
Bubble Drain is good. Although,
Yep.
this card is honestly really overshadowed by the Vaporeon in the next set, which has a really good ability. Hyper Whirlpool. I love this thing. Not in the internet way.
Okay.
Cleanse Away is also really good. And I feel like Bubble Drain is kind of what you would get if you were to combine the two.
Yeah.
Minus the discarding energy from...
It's oversimplified.
It's simplified, but it's solid. Higher retreat cost. Significant buff in HP. Overall, I'd say I like both of them. Different uses.
Yeah.
Both good in their own unique way. Although I wish this one had higher health. Ammonite.
Where did his special go?
I don't know.
Now he just do water gun.
Now he just do water gun. Yeah. Wash Over is cool. Like, that's 40 damage total.
Yeah.
And of course, had grass weakness, became electric weakness. Although Call Up would be really good on a deck that where it's built around fossil Pokemon. 'Cause that's one of the pre-built decks in TCG Pocket is a fossil deck, which uses both water and fighting.
Yeah, honestly, that's kind of a shame. They got rid of it.
Yeah. It would be really good. Like that's a good way to build up your bench. And if I were to build a deck like this in real life, then I would definitely want that card. Now, Amistar. This card was originally fighting type. And honestly, these are definitely very different cards.
Very different.
Very different. I mean, fights
That's
just...
good, though.
They're both...
Ancient Whirlpool?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, just during your opponent's next turn, they can't attack. Like, that's just flat out good.
Like, I can't complain about them being less unique if they're just made to be better.
Yeah. And then Fossil Bind is good too. As long as you have fewer Pokemon in play than your opponent, they can't play item cards from their hand.
Which is pretty huge.
That is pretty huge. Like that's a good card for, like, I think that's Sun and Moon era. I like it. I like both of them. I mean, the fact that they're different type cards definitely makes me see them both very differently and not as the same card. That's definitely the big thing that's pushing me towards that point of view. Articuno.
Oversimplified.
Very oversimplified. It's just a worse Shearcold.
Yeah.
Lower HP, lost the fighting resistance. Say it with me now. I miss resistance.
Resistances.
Also, Gust probably would have been good to have on it. Like, have we seen any have we seen any cards so far that have had more than one move?
I don't think so.
So a lot of the cards that I can think of that have more than one move are EX cards, which were unique. But we're talking about the majority of cards here. So we'll see if we get to any of ones like that. Ducklet is not one of them. Big Pick Your Poison.
Yeah. I miss resistances.
I miss resistances. Lower health. I honestly forgot this card existed.
Forgot Ducklet existed.
Fair. And I don't remember ever seeing the Swanna artwork in the game.
It's a nice art.
It is nice art. And again, kind of pick your poison here. Wing attack got a huge buff, but it lost Brave Bird.
It smushed the attacks together.
Yeah. I miss resistances.
I miss resistances.
Brokey. An interesting one to have on here, considering...
Bad!
Yeah, what happened to my boy? Again, grass went from grass to lightning weakness, lost some health. I was going to say, interesting thing to have and not have Fennekin and Chespin, but I guess Greninja is, by definition, genetic apex.
Yeah? The only Pokemon to just have a unique form because
Of
why not?
Yeah. Frogadier. Give me back Gil Shuriken. Well, we'll get to that. Water Drip got a buff. Gale Shuriken will see in a
now
second.
drippier.
He is now drippier. Play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon. Wait. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Oh, so when it evolves, when it evolves from Frogadier to Frogadier, it does that. Okay. Not as good as I initially thought it was. The shurikens on Greninja are a lot better.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, and like you get 2 Greninjas on the field, like or on your bench, like that's just 40 damage to just any of your Pokemon immediately, which is bull.
Yeah, okay, Celebi Superior Abuser.
This is also the first one where the names of both the ability and the move are the same. So it is worth saying that these are, or like, it is safe to probably. I'm keeping this in.
Do your worst.
Okay. So, Water Shuriken on normal TCG Greninja is alright. Well, not better than alright. It's a stronger version of TCG Pocket's Water Shuriken with a drawback.
I wouldn't say drawback as much as I would say cost.
Yeah, cost. That is a better word. And then Miss Slash, I'd call that. I don't think 10 damage is enough to call it a side grade.
In simplification.
Yeah.
This broadcast is interrupted by Swedish Fish and friends. It looks as though there is Swedish Fish lore. Our researchers will get back to you on that.
Alright, you do that. Yukubuku. Where did Collect go?
Where'd it go?
And also, this is just a thing that I want to, say. Isn't Pyukumuka's whole thing that it can't do damage moves?
Yeah.
Like, it's only, it had Counter. That was pretty much its only damage move. And then it got, I think, Mirror Coat as an egg move in Gen 8.
I think, yeah. And it had Innards out.
Yeah, so this is, that's just something that's kind of bugged me, but this is very much a downgrade. And, Collect is a thing in the game. Meowth has that. That's Meowth's.
What? No, that's Payday.
Well, draw a card.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that effect is part of the game. They could have kept it on Pyukumuku. And it definitely would have made it a better card than just 70 HP, does 30 damage for 1 turn. Now, that is an interesting move. I like Second Strike.
I like that.
Yeah. Although
the loss of utility from Vivid Charge will be missed.
Yeah.
But it's not like the card's bad.
Right. And then Psychic Fangs is okay. Well, Psychic Fangs does more damage, so
Also costs more energy.
Mm-hmm. Overall, lost some utility. I feel like it got a little bit more unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Second Strike feels like a Bruxish thing.
A Bruxish.
Bruxish. Let's talk about Pikachu, and the fact that this art has been used multiple times.
Pikachu.
Yeah.
He is no longer capable of using electricity.
Well,
except to operate his mouth.
Let's talk about the differences across the times that this art has been used. First was in base set, where it had 40 HP. Moving on to, I think that's Generations. Got a buff in HP, very necessary. Also got a steel resistance. I miss resistances.
I miss resistances.
Moving on to, I don't know, I think that's just a 25th anniversary card. Full art of the version of it, where the moves have never changed. Lost the resistance. And also the Caterpies there. This is different art. It's redone.
They added Caterpie.
Yeah.
And Parasect.
Yeah, they added Pokemon to it. It's redone. It's the same artist, so I technically counted it. And there's gonna be one more of that instance that we're gonna see later that I'm gonna actually have to go back to talk about. But then what did they do to the moves in TCG Pocket? Where'd Thunderjolt go?
Where'd Thunderjolt?
Where'd just the Gnaw?
Gnaw?
Raichu's a lot better though.
I just hate the concept of discard all energy from this Pokemon.
I mean, I agree, but we did talk about it before, how there's a lot of Pokemon who...
There's a lot of electric energy attaching opportunity.
Yeah, and I think Lieutenant Surge...
It does fit Raichu.
Yeah, I think Lieutenant Surge actually has that property. I should have the app open to be able to look at all these. Nuzzle works as it... Well, Nuzzle doesn't do any damage, but paralyzes.
Nuzzle, ooh.
Yeah. And then Powerful Spark is just a fundamentally different move. Lost a steel resistance, I miss resistances.
I miss resistances.
Lost some health, lost retreat cost though. Not super similar. Magnanimity. Fundamentally different.
They let him do damage. He has been given the damage pass.
Yeah. I mean, Supersonic is cool. Shouldn't be an electric energy, but...
Well, how else is he gonna generate the noise?
I don't know. How does Zubat do it?
By scream.
Not with electricity.
Zubat is not electric type.
You don't think Magnanimity can scream?
No! With what?
I don't know. Now, we're gonna talk... Now, this is an interesting next one. Magneton is these two sets. I don't remember what they're called, but one of them is a normal set. The other one is a lot of the same set, but with the Pokemon having different types. It should be noted that I'm completely wrong about this.
Well, there's your energy generation for Raichu.
Yeah, for Magneton, that's exactly what I don't know if I like spinning attack for 60, but
It's not really meant to attack.
I mean with Volt Charge it speeds up significantly, but
You use to this Pokemon. You use
oh yeah,
You
specifically to Magneton.
you use Magneton to gather the energy, and then you pull it with Surge over to Raichu.
That's yeah. And then for a normal TCG, I just like this idea. This is an idea that would be really cool for them to do in TCG Pocket, where functionally same exact moves,
Same card.
just different types, and also different weaknesses and different I miss resistances.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is the only one on here either that we're going to see. Once again, important to note, I am wrong about this. And of course there's no Magnezone because that wasn't 151. They did eventually add a Magnezone, but not here. Voltorb.
Why he no lightning ball?
I don't know. Why he just tackle? What is he tackling with? He's a roly-poly. He got a health increase, that's about it. Lost an I miss resistances. If the ground is uneven, a sudden jolt from hitting a bump can cause it to explode. And you're telling me the tackle doesn't?
Yeah.
Electrode.
Huh.
Electro Shaker can be really good. Definitely a bit situational. But other than that, Electro Ball is really good on Electrode. Because that's what it is. It's an Electro Ball.
Electro Ball. Oh my god.
Lost a little bit of health, but also, again, has no retreat cost. Debuff.
I mean, Electro Shaker lets it do things.
Yeah,
Other than damage.
it is unique. Jolteon.
Wait, what is it with this? Like, he's not allowed to use his electricity.
I don't know. Pin Missile's a bug move.
Electromagnetic Wall is insane.
Yeah. Every attach an energy card from one opponent to... Yeah, like that's just really good. Thunderbolt, again, discarding all energy from this Pokemon. I think that's just a Thunderbolt thing.
Yeah.
Side grade. Got a retreat cost.
It's not bad.
Got a retreat cost, I miss resistances. It's not bad. But again, I think this is just a weaker version of Zapdos hits.
Yeah, it is.
Speaking of Zapdos, Thunder Shock and then Drill Peck, definitely. This is one of the cases where I fully agree it deserves that first move in order to prepare for that second move.
Yeah.
Though Raging Thunder is really good too, and suits Zapdos.
It's good.
Yeah, I'd call this a side grade. Blitzel.
He's not fast anymore.
He's not fast anymore.
It would just be hilarious. Like, that move is hilarious.
Yeah.
No, can't hit me.
No.
No, I'm too fast.
It's basically what Vulpix TCG Pocket is able to do, except it does damage.
Yeah.
And then Zap Kick doing 20 damage. Side grade. Although, no.
You lost a lot of...
You lost a lot of... Yeah. Side grade more on the side of downgrade. Zebstrika.
He can no longer sprint. He has broken all of his legs.
Oh no.
And just generally worse?
Yeah. I mean, it has some utility. Like, 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for only 1 energy. It's not the worst. I don't know. A lot of these electric types I mainly use to boost Pikachu EX. But honestly, yeah, I'd say you're right. Honestly, kind of just worse. I miss resistances. Tying them up. I miss resistances. 30 health. Went from 40 to 30.
Why'd he get weaker?
I don't know. Although I like the name Tiny Charge
Yeah.
for 30 damage. That makes sense. Aqua Shock is cool too. Your opponent's active Pokemon has any water energy attached to it. This attack does 30 more damage, so that's 10 damage. But if your opponent is a water type with water type energy, that's 80 damage.
Yeah.
Because yeah, electric.
No Overspark?
No Overspark. And Overspark is cool.
No Overspark?
I like Overspark. I miss resistances, but I like Overspark. I like the idea behind it, and I don't think it exists in TCG Pocket in any way.
Which is a shame.
Yeah. Also, health decrease, just not the greatest. Electros.
Dark Clamp.
Dark Clamp. Which
No Sucky Sucky?
nope, no more. Only Thunderfang. Only Bite.
Only Bite.
Yeah. I mean, Thunderfang is useful. Like, that card is useful. But, Vacuum Bolt is also really interesting. You can choose to do 80 more damage.
I really like that as a concept.
Yeah. But if you do, this attack does 80 damage to one of your Pokemon. I love that concept. That is something that should be reintroduced in some way.
Absolutely.
Helioptile.
He can't Destructive Beam anymore.
No. 'Tis a shame.
That was not a very good move, though.
No.
For 2 energy and a 50% chance.
Yeah. Like, that doesn't... Yeah, no, that doesn't really do that much when you could just reattach an energy.
Tail Whap.
Tail Whap. Really, again, they're both kind of just precursors to Helioptile. Or Heliolisk, I meant. Volt Wave is definitely better than Quick Attack.
You are shaking up the Quick Attack fandom right now.
I mean, I like Quick Attack. I have no problems with Quick Attack. But Volt Wave is just better. Also got a health decrease. And I don't like that.
No like.
No like. I've used this Heliolisk card. Not the biggest. Not the biggest on it, but I have used it.
Fan of the government.
What he said. Clefairy. We're on to psychic types now. I mean,
is it psychic type?
because they got rid of fairy types.
So make it colorless. What? Why psychic?
Well, I mean, the fairy types have become psychic types now.
That's dumb.
I mean,
Like, it made sense for Gardevoir because Gardevoir was psychic type.
is Clefairy normal fairy now, or is it just?
It's just fairy.
I don't know, man. Mostly, I'd say downgrade.
Yeah, just for the fact that it's psychic type.
Yeah, I miss fairy types. We saw Cottonee and Whimsicott earlier, but there's gonna be more here. Clefable, just the psychic type Rapidash. Except Rapidash is the only one that gets boosted by Bling. And then Clefable on the right. I mean, Moonberry is really good, because Dragon-type Pokemon can be. Like,
I mean, if you used a Dragon-type deck, it would pretty much just ruin your entire day, so...
yeah.
I can see why they got rid of it.
And Tumbling Attack is obviously better. Yeah.
Not
fully,
a big fan.
Not a big fan. Abra.
Very uninspired.
Yep. Again, this is a card that was...
Psychic Beam!
Yeah, this was a card that was exclusive to Japan. I think it was one of the vending machine cards.
Which is just a fun concept.
Yeah, I like the concept. I like it. Only 30 HP to 60 HP, definitely deserved. Had no retreat cost, got a retreat cost, okay.
But it doesn't matter, because it has teleport.
I don't know why it has a psychic weakness. Is that supposed to be like Ghost, probably?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't... Like, the move is a little bit... Yeah, Psychic Beam is a little bit more uninspired. Teleport is more fitting.
Yep. It's like the opposite of what I've been complaining about.
Yeah.
Like they've made it more unique.
Like this is... Well, it's like teleporting is its whole thing. Yeah.
Yep.
So, good upgrade.
Yep.
Kadabra. This one this one's base set, I think.
I like Recover as a move.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Although, it's kind of hard to use when it only has 60 HP, but it's good.
Not in the old deck.
That's, yeah. And then Super Psy, becoming Super Psy Bolt, getting that.
You can call that whatever you want to call that.
Yeah. Well, it got, well, they're the same, but it got a boost in health, boost in damage, boost in retreat cost, I'd call this. Well, even without recover, I'd call this mostly a win.
Yeah.
I would love for it to still have recover, but it's still kind of better, I think. Alakazam.
An interesting concept for the Poké Power.
Yeah, and it's during your opponent's turn.
The Alakazam is really strong.
Yeah, like that's I think Psychic's whole thing in the TCG. So, uses any Poké Power. Discard 2 cards from your hand to prevent all effects of the Poké Power. I like that, and I like when the Poké Powers have this power can't be used if they're affected by a special condition. I feel like that makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah.
Or so, like, at least some of the more powerful ones. And then Psychic Guard is really good too.
Yeah, it's meant to fight other stage 2s.
Plus 30 weakness though.
That is interesting.
I don't know how many cards really have that. Like there's a good chunk of plus 20s and times 2. Like times 2 is the most common. There are some plus 10s. This is the first one I've seen that's plus 30. The one on the left has a clear utility though.
Born to kill Celebi.
Yeah, not to mention health increase, retreat cost increase. We respect Alakazam.
We do respect Alakazam.
Now, we need to talk about Slowpoke.
What happened?
Again, it was used on 2 different cards, where the cards I think are both exactly the same, except spacing out on the original card can't be used as Slowpoke has no damage counters on it. There's no point in using it if it's.
I mean, I don't know.
And then Scavenge is good too, but
Yeah.
and then they just gave it Tail Whap.
Tail Whap.
There is one thing that I want to mention. If we go all the way back to the normal Full Arts, the Slowpoke card looks the same,
Yeah.
but after taking a quick look at it, I can tell you it is a redone version of it.
Interesting.
It's the same artist, but it's been redone. You could put them side by side to confirm that, but it's too far.
You're spoiling things.
Slowbro.
Strange behavior.
As often as you like during your turn before your attack, you may move.
Is that what my autism is? My Pokemon power?
Yes. Move 1 damage counter from one of your Pokemon to Slowbro as long as you don't knock out Slowbro. This power can't be used if Slowbro is specifically asleep, confused, or paralyzed.
I mean, they just buffed the hell out of this.
Absolutely, like more than doubled its health.
Yeah.
Like that's the and higher retreat cost. I don't know.
They couldn't have come up with a new name for the attack though.
Yeah, I guess that's. I don't know how useful I don't know how much I'd really end up using this card ever. I mean, the 130 health is cool, but that's about it. Ghastly. Another one that's
Suffocating gas. Spookify!
Spookify! Another one that's exclusive to Japan. I think this is another vending machine card. So, yeah, your opponent can't play trainer cards from his or her hand during his or her next turn. Another thing that I noticed when looking at old cards versus new cards, they changed them from saying his or her hand and his or her turn to their hand and their turn.
Cool.
Cool.
Good job.
We respect that.
It's easier to type, and it's more respectful.
Yeah. Also, Fade to Black is a cool name.
That's a really cool move.
And then just Suffocating Gas is higher damage than it can do, but not as creative. Overall, upgrade, downgrade, just different.
Upgrade.
Okay. And then we talked about Haunter was one of the original cards. So we're on to Gengar. Bother. Ooh, bother.
Oh.
Which, again, your opponent can't use any supporter cards from their hand during the next turn. Really good.
Very.
Probably overshadowed by Gengar EX. And again, Morty's Gengar, another exclusive to Japan. Hypnosis and Transfer Pain.
Interesting.
I don't know which one I'd prefer. Probably TCG Pocket. Also, the Gengar's mouth is not open. Its tongue is going through its teeth.
What a Gengar move.
Yeah. Drowsy. I don't know how I feel about TCG Pocket Drowsy. And 2 energy for a 30 damage move. I don't know how I feel about that Drowsy. I mean, the one on the right is okay for its time. Oh, 04. That's probably not that good for...
Or you were born.
WC Tube Gay 140.
Gay. I mean, it is in fact a card.
It is a card. And really, the one on the left is really just a precursor to Hypno, which has the obvious ability.
Which is good.
Yeah, it's good. Like, I use that on my Mew and Mewtwo deck. My go-to deck.
Hypnoblast is a much cooler name, though.
Yeah, no, that's just a cooler name. Also, hand control. That could mean anything. So your opponent reveals his or her hand. You may choose a supporter card you find there. If you do, your opponent plays that supporter card. However, you make all decisions for that card.
That's just so cool.
That's just... Yeah, and that could be really, really funny.
Yeah.
Like imagine you're holding out for the right moment to use a... You're holding out for the right moment to
use Sabrina, and then I just use it to switch out into my Pokemon that I want.
Yeah, that'd be a great example. And then... Just... Hypnoblast. Mr. Mime.
Airy Wall.
Airy Wall. I like that. I like describing the barrier as that.
Whoa. That's a Pokebody.
Your opponent's Pokemon that has 2 or less energy cards attached to it attacks Mr. Mime. Prevent all damage done to Mr. Mime from that attack. Mime Jr. is anywhere under Mr. Mime. Prevent all effects from that attack, including damage done to Mr. Mime.
That's cool as hell.
What does that mean, under Mr. Mime? Oh. It's a basic.
Mr. Mime is basic, but you could evolve.
Yeah, a baby Pokemon exist. Baby Pokemon are weird in TCG.
Yeah.
Like,
they should be called acidic. Just for the fun of it.
That is pretty funny. I like that. I like that a lot. During your opponent's next turn, barrier attack is good for what Mr. Mime is supposed to be. What's trick play? Put a coin next to your active Pokemon without showing your opponent and cover it with your hand. That's
funny.
Wait a second. Oh my god.
That's cool.
I love that so much. Why is that not why? Wait a second.
I think they're just taking out anything that requires extra input.
That's true. Like, this would not work in TCG Pocket. They'd need to, like, fully implement something with that.
Yeah.
That's like a card from Muffin Time.
I know.
Mewtwo.
Power Blast.
Yep, and then discard 2 Psychic Energy. Again, just a weaker version of Mewtwo EX. Versus, when you play this Pokemon from your hand on your bench, you may put a supporter card from the discard pile on top of your deck.
It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. So, and then Psyshock, where the damage isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. That could be good. Just bypass
Mr. Mime.
Yeah, and any minus damage or like prevent all damage. Side grade.
Yeah,
definitely different uses. Ralts. Beat. I like that.
Beckoning.
Beckon makes sense, I think. And of course, put a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand. Very similar to what we just saw with Mewtwo.
Yep.
Also, the fact that it's fairy type.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. Health increase. I miss resistances. Add a steel weakness.
I miss resistances.
Yeah. Add a steel weakness, one from dark weaknesses. The one on the right is better. Curlia is actually psychic type this time. Smack. Or went from ram to smack. Ah!
What? I'm just doing what you told me to.
I said ram first and then smack.
I'm not doing that.
Okay. But yeah, with hypnosis, would this be like with the guarantee to sleep?
I mean, as far as I'm aware, sleep is not a guaranteed turn waster.
Yeah, it's
they can wake up from sleep first turn.
Yeah, that's true. They get 2 turns to wake up at the beginning and at the end, I think.
Yes. Or is that confusion, or both of them?
No, I know in TCG Pocket it's that, but I don't know how it is. I don't know if it's any different in the normal TCG.
Probably not.
Okay. Gardevoir. Again, this is a card that's exclusive to Japan. I think it was like a reward for a tournament.
It is a really nice art.
Yeah, I love this art. Like, really good move, Dazzling Light. Heal 30 damage and remove all special conditions. Like, that's just a solid, more than solid.
That's good.
Yeah. And then Gardevoir and
then they
TCG
ruined it.
Well, no, this is a very different...
Oh, I didn't see the
You didn't see the ability. That's a very different use for Gardevoir.
It's still good.
Yeah, it's still good, just for a different reason. Its main purpose is to allow Mewtwo EX to use its 150 damage attack each turn. Like, Woobat. Now this is... Woobat went from 50 to 60 HP. Moves are identical, besides the name. Went from Gust to Gnaw.
Gnaw.
The weakness change was Lightning.
I miss resistances.
I do miss resistances. This is interesting, though. A Psychic type with a Lightning weakness. Well, it's a Psychic card. Yeah. So it makes sense for the Pokemon, but it's pretty unique for the card. You see? Swoobat.
Swoobat! No energy gift?
No energy gift.
I just get Swoobat more damage.
Yeah, just more damage.
More damage.
Less utility. Again, the lightning weakness, which I think is unique. I miss resistances.
I miss
Higher
resistances.
Yep. Higher health. Side grade.
Yeah.
Again, just not super creative on the left there. Golett. Nerf.
Bullet. Yeah.
Nerf. I miss resistances.
I miss resistances.
Golurk.
Whoa.
Now, which one we starting with?
Whoa.
So which one we starting with?
You see, it looks like a normal card on the right in Japanese when it's fighting. But double Lariat, either 0, 100, or 200 damage.
Yeah.
I think is that still an average of 100 damage?
That's still an average of 100 damage.
That's good.
Yeah.
Straight up good, especially if you're putting it in the Psychic deck with like Gardevoir, and like you can use that relatively early.
Yeah. And then, yeah, fighting type Golurk having Dynamic Punch, which can do 30 more damage, and it confuses.
I think it's genuinely buffed.
It's genuinely, well, again, the fact that they're two different types of cards is again leading me to the impression of they weren't going for the same thing in the slightest.
Yeah.
Water weakness. I miss resistances.
I miss resistances.
And Golurk doesn't get a lot of it. I feel like Golurk doesn't get enough attention in general.
That name translates to Explosion Punch. I never knew that.
Does it?
Yes.
I love that. Well, which one? The Mega Punch or Dynamic Punch?
Dynamic.
I love that. Sandshrew. Again, another vending machine card.
Name is just sand in Japanese.
Sandal.
Sando.
Nerf.
Speedstar? That's just a better name for Swift. Speedstar?
Speedostada? Speedostad? Speedostar?
You could just say Speedstar.
I'm trying to... Okay. This attack's damage isn't effect... Yeah, that's just good. I mean, 40 HP is not the greatest to be able to utilize it well, but...
It only does 10 damage, but it all depends on what Sand Slash looks like.
Yeah. Speaking of Sand Slash...
Sand Slash! Whoa.
Very...
Really? The best they could come up with for Sand Slash is Slash?
They could have called it Sand Slash.
They could have called it Sand Slash.
Or like Sandy / Earth something. It's a good card. Or it's an okay card.
Okay card.
Over here, your opponent has any bench Pokemon, choose up to 2 of them. This attack does 10 damage to each of them. A bit wordy, but yeah.
Pretty cool.
And then Poison Needle Rush is actually pretty good. Flip 3 coins. This attack does 20 damage times the number of heads. If you get at least 1 heads, the defending Pokemon is now poisoned.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. I like that.
Pretty cool.
Like for a 2002, 3?
That's a 3.
Like, that's a unique card for them. I miss resistances.
I miss
Is that
resistances.
That's a minus 30 resistance.
Yep.
So was the previous one? The previous one was also minus 30. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
I like it. Diglett.
He can't Fury Headbutt anymore?
Flip 3 coins, attack. Yeah. I miss resistances. Higher health. Side grade.
Yep.
Because it could do either 0, 10, 20, or 30 damage, which is an average of 15 versus just always 20. Unfortunate.
Yeah, imagine if they had to roll for accuracy.
Yeah.
Imagine if moves had accuracy in this game.
Yeah. Oh god. Imagine a move, like, what is it? A move along the lines of, like, Sand Attack. where you now need to flip, in order for your move to hit, you must flip 3 coins, and at least 2 of them must be hits.
Oh my god.
Thug Trio. Home ground is interesting.
That's funny.
It's funny. There's not enough.
I think dig makes a lot of sense.
It does, and I mean that would be a cool card if they had stadium cards in TCG Pocket, but they don't yet. And then yeah, dig works very similar to how
I miss resistances.
It doesn't have a resistance. Menki.
Level X.
Level X. Attack does 50 damage plus 10 damage plus 50 more damage. Extra punch.
Extra punch.
The punch is very extra.
Where's the first one?
I don't know. Health increase. Just an okay.
Very normal.
Yeah.
Lost a bit of uniqueness, I guess.
It's really just the precursor for Primate, which Fight Back is really good.
Yeah. Even though Tantrum is an objectively hilarious name.
Yeah. Yeah, but like both are good for what they do. It goes from 70 health to 90 health.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Good job. Nerf.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, takes more energy to use dual chop, but still an average of 30 damage. You know, I like the one on the right more. Machoke.
Last chance chop.
Which is I like that move.
Pretty cool.
Again, Seismic Toss is also just, that's standard 60 versus Strength doing 50.
I mean, it's alright.
Yeah.
They gave it more health, took away a little damage.
Took a little retreat cost.
Bada bing, bada boom.
They're both, like the Machoke is just, again, a precursor to Machamp, which, again, that's just a worse version of Machamp EX.
Yeah, I really don't like that they're doing that.
Settle the Score is a cool name.
Yeah.
Yeah, for each prize.
So this Machamp is canonically level 100. Its Seismic Toss does 100 damage.
That's true. What move does Machamp EX have?
Dynamic Punch. I just use it. It's Dynamic Punch.
Mega Punch.
Fuck. Confirmed. I cannot read.
I stopped it right at the right point.
Yep, 19.
And then
Never fucking learned how to read.
And then submission is just solid. I'd call this a downgrade.
Yeah.
Geodude.
The return of Knuckle Punch.
Yeah. And Focus Fist being another surprise attack is
Bad.
Had a water weakness at first, became grass. Got a health increase. Upgrade, downgrade, sidegrade, you think?
Just because it's named Tackle again, downgrade.
I really hope the mic's not picking them up. No, this is another one where the art was used more than once. Not in the same way as Magneton, where it's a different type. It's just the same card twice, which I don't get. I didn't do enough research to see why that was. Downgrade.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. It deserves double edge.
I think Rollout checks out, though.
Yeah, Rollout does check out. Although, isn't it also...
It is big round rock.
Isn't it also one of the bigger explosion users?
I guess.
Golem. Golem had double edge, so I guess, okay.
Explosion.
And there it is.
Explosion!
There it is. I knew I was onto something there.
It's all fun and games until Pinsir uses Grip and Squeeze, and then Golem uses Explosion.
Health increase, which is good for the recoil move. Probably would have benefited from the second move.
Why can't we just call it Explosion?
I don't know. Higher retreat cost. It really is just like a sacrifice that Pokemon. Although I think it gets...
It just goes down fighting instead.
Although Brock's card sucks, doesn't it just put a fighting energy on either Golem or Onix?
Is it even Golem?
Yeah, it's Golem. So, yeah, that's something that's going for it, I guess. Speaking of Onix.
Onix not sucking? Impossible.
That's unexpected.
Sorry, that was too bad of a pun to ignore.
Okay. Fair.
Unexcusable.
Okay. And we're done. Dig deep is useful.
Not really.
Somewhat.
If your deck doesn't mean like, if you never have energy in your hand, put more energy in your deck.
Okay, that makes alright.
Like in an emergency, it's not bad, but
Right.
basically surprise attack plus not good. I like that they changed it to just land crush.
Yeah. Tail Smash is just another surprise attack. Does
I
100
literally just said that.
I haven't. Okay. Yeah. 100 damage, though.
Yeah, but it's an average of 50 damage, or if you're me, an average of 0 damage.
Side grade?
Not everyone can have good luck, Logan.
Side grade?
No, if that's an upgrade.
Okay. Cubone. Burst of Bone. This Pokemon can't attack during your next turn, though.
My bones burdensome.
That's what I call my bone.
My bone. My bone.
With a recharge time, though. Versus Growl being just the
Yeah.
precursor for. So yeah, this is kind of just the Growl is meant to stall.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, these are kind of just the this is kind of just the precursor to Marowak, which significantly worse than the EX form.
Yeah.
Very similar to the EX form, although Bodyguard is both fitting and really good.
Yeah, it'd be pretty good.
Downgrade.
By far.
Absolutely. Hitmonlee.
A 1-2 kick.
1-2 kick. Yep. And then Heal Drop, which is just another surprise
He'll
attack.
drop what?
The opposing Pokemon. Meanwhile, I hate the one on the left.
Stretch kick. It's a funny visual, though.
It is a funny visual.
He lost weight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, maybe.
He lost weight. He lost 0.2 pounds.
Oh shoot, you're right. You want to see a funny visual?
Sure.
How about a card so nice it's existed more than twice? It's existed 4 fucking times in the TCG.
That's funny.
That's really funny. And the differences are, I think each of them has at least one change to them. First, base set, which is base set. Then then there was that shiny version, which I don't know why that exists, but it lost some HP. And then it went back to 70 HP here when it was redone. And then Generations, it got significantly buffed with 90 health. Jab went to 30 damage. Special Punch went to 90 damage. Also, this whole time, they've printed this card 4 times. They couldn't have come up with something more creative than Special Punch. And then in TCG Pocket, they just got rid of it.
What did I say? Fun, not allowed.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because Hitmonchan deserved better.
He did.
Now, Rhyhorn. I have this card on my desk. I would call this quite the upgrade. Where instead of dealing 40 damage and 10 to itself, does just 60 damage for 1 more energy. You think so? Upgrade, downgrade?
I'd say it's an upgrade.
Rhydon.
Right on these nuts! What?
What he said. Horn Drill is definitely more powerful, but Rock Tumble, being unaffected by resistance, is definitely a better move for TCG Pocket, where a lot of those Pokemon did have fighting resistances. Or normal TCG. Fury Attack is whatever, but also significant health increase. I'd call this a...
It was like a buff to me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they couldn't, because there's no longer resistances, which we all miss. Obviously, this secondary effect couldn't come back. So, for what TCG Pocket has, this is an upgrade. Kabuto. Nerf.
Yeah, we can't ram the shell anymore.
It's Nerf or nothing.
That really is the theme of this, huh?
I guess so. Yeah, it's Ram and Shell versus just Shell Attack. I lost that secondary effect, which would have been really good.
Couldn't even just keep a cool name.
Yeah. Unfortunate. Kabutops also lost a lot of utility.
Leech Flyer.
Leech Life is cool. Like we've talked about leeching moves. We love those.
We do love those around here.
And like heal from this Pokemon the same amount of damage you did to your opponent's active Pokemon. I love that. But at the same time, on the right there, the ability, as long as your Pokemon is the active Pokemon, your opponent can't use supporter cards.
Which is just really fucking cool.
Yeah, and then Rock Slide is also just stronger. Overall, it also had a lower. The retreat cost got lowered. Side grade?
Yeah, I would normally say downgrade, but it heals.
Yeah, that's the big thing that
It
really.
heals a lot, actually.
Yeah, that's the one thing that saves it, is that amount of health that it regains. It can regain 50, or if your Pokemon's weak to it, or you have a Lucario on your bench, much more than that. Mienfoo.
Bad.
Both are not super good. I mean, basic would be got a health increase, but lost high jump kick.
It's just not very good.
Stronger pound, not worth it. Mian Xiao, also just not.
No, really, what is with these? Like, they really just like these Rapidash type cards.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like Faint is good because it's unaffected by resistance, I miss resistances. And again, fighting is a common resistance.
Also, that's so metal. When Mienshao comes across a truly challenging opponent, it will lighten itself by biting off the fur on its arms.
Yeah, I love that. I have a new respect for Mienshao.
That's some bad bitch behavior right there.
Yeah. And again, lost high jump kick.
Uncool, really.
Lost some health. Downgrade, but I have a new respect for Mienshao. Yeah, moving on to dark types. Ekans. You bite. And I think we talked about this secondary effect before not being that useful.
Yeah, it's not super great, but it's at least on an attack, which means it's fine in my book.
Yeah. This is a big thing where poison types have been delegated to dark type cards, so and I think that's most fitting. Overall I'd say
It's better than Psychic.
yeah, I'd say overall upgrade. Like big upgrade to dark types.
I suppose.
Yeah. Arbok.
Different card.
Very different card. A lot of these are probably going to be different cards. The ones that were originally psychic. So, yeah, high like completely different weakness, retreat cost, health. Just
It's a different card.
yeah. One is okay, prevents your Pokemon from retreating. The other one disables abilities and also poisons. Yeah, just different card. That might end up being a theme for dark types. I'm not sure. Nidoran.
Blaze Carl for family.
Yep. And offer help. I like how some of these cards where it's search your deck for a card. Some of them specifically tell you to show it to your opponent, and then scratch is scratch. Call for family on Nidoran is very necessary because of what the Nidoqueen in that set does, which we'll get to.
Really? I thought we were going to skip Nidoqueen. We talked about this.
No, we don't skip the Nidoqueen.
You promised me we would skip Nidoqueen. Nidorina!
Nidorina. That is
I mean just orphan.
yeah. It got neutered.
I'm sorry, the horn on its head has what? Acrophied?
It's thought that this happens so Nidorina's children won't get poked while their mother is feeding them. And they both have bites, so you can't really call this, can't really make the excuse that it's a completely different card. He's just...
Orphan.
Yeah. Now, that is an ability.
That is, in fact, an ability.
That isn't a Pokemon GX or Pokemon EX. It's an okay ability. It's once per turn, though, so you can use that to evolve any Pokemon you want that isn't an EX. So it's a solid card, and it pairs especially good with Power Lariat. So overall, I really like that card on the right. Very different to the one on the left, which is very much paired with the Nidoran female, bringing in Nidoran males, does more damage for each Nidoking on the bench. Very, very much meant to have a deck built around it. Side grade.
Yeah, side grade.
Nidoran.
They did the move smushing thing again.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's the same card.
It is the same. It is the same card, but just darker.
Is there a problem, sir?
Nidorino.
It's a number smaller.
Downgrade.
Yeah, that's a downgrade.
Yeah, I mean,
It's still technically 20 damage per energy, but like,
yeah.
no horn drill.
No horn drill. The horn drill even don't do that much. He's supposed to Oka.
Nidoking!
Now, that's some damage.
Yeah.
Just the equivalent to what Nidoking is in TCG Pocket now, but much more powerful.
I like Drag Off as an attack.
That is also a really good attack. Pretty much just like what Victor Bell also is in TCG Pocket.
I feel like this is technically a downgrade, even though Nidoqueen was an upgrade-ish.
Yeah, as different different utilities. I mean, 90 damage Poison Horn is still pretty good.
It's not bad.
That's more of a secondary use. It's more of its primary use being to boost Nidoqueen.
When it goes on a rampage, it's impossible to control, but in the presence of a Nidoqueen it's lived with for a long time, Nidoking calms down.
Oh, that's cute, ain't it?
He has been tamed.
He has been tamed.
Gone is the alpha male we once knew.
Yeah. Zubat. Again, was was in 2 different sets before. Skill Dive is...
It's just a nerf, because it lost the ability to hit anyone.
Yeah, weakness changed, although that's the case for most of these. It does make sense that I realize now that Gen 1 doesn't actually have any Dark-type Pokemon, so...
Gen 1 doesn't have Dark-type.
Well, I mean, with Magnemite and Magneton, they went back and gave it Steel-type. But, like, they didn't do that with any of the Gen 1 Pokemon for Dark-type.
Yeah.
That doesn't count.
Still technically a Gen 1 Pokemon.
Golbat?
Golbat. No Super Poison Breath?
No,
I
unfortunately.
feel like this is just an upgrade. It's just more consistent.
Yeah.
No poison, though.
No poison. Less health. Did get a retreat cost. Just slightly more consistent. I miss resistances.
I miss resistances.
See, this is what we were talking about earlier, how fighting is such a common resistance.
We?
Well, we were talking about that earlier, weren't we?
Muck!
Because Grimer is original. We're on to Muck.
Sludge Cell's pretty cool.
Yeah. Like, effectively the poison heal of the TCG. Combined with Strange Poison, which already has the option to poison it.
I think it's a little bit of a downgrade.
Yeah. Although that is some solid damage if you can get poison on it, which is usually Weezing's job.
This Toxoplasmic Laser. Or I think it was like Hypnotoxic or something.
Something like that. There's a lot of Hypno moves.
It was an item card that put them to sleep and poisoned them.
Neat.
I miss it.
Understandable. Coughing.
Coffee! Isn't that Ghastly's move now?
Yeah.
So they're just lazy.
Yes, they are. I mean, do you think it can tackle without, how did...
It puts gas out the back of it like a thruster.
That's actually really funny to think about. Health increase, that's good. It did change from colorless to dark.
I mean, technically, if it sucks in from the front ones and pushes out through the back one, that's like thrust.
That would be really funny. I'm Pokemon anime get on this.
I
Weezing.
think that's how it flies, technically.
That would make, yeah. Anyway, Weezing.
Detention gas?
Detention gas. I like that name. Also, splattering sludge.
They should have kept the move name, because they just put tackle on Weezing.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Went from suffocating gas to tackle. It also only does 30 damage. The only thing it's good for is gas leak.
Mawile.
Mawile. On to the steel types, which starts with Mawile. Magnemite and Magneton were already
Honestly,
electric type cards.
Bite Off is hilarious.
I love Bite Off.
Because, like, I love the fact that some of these can just be dirty jokes.
Yeah.
A lot of people probably had the idea when they saw that giant mouth.
Yeah.
The children yearn for the mines.
The children do yearn for the mines. And Mawile will bite off the people, bite off the ones that don't.
Now it will crunch them.
Yeah, now it just crunches. They had to make it a little kid-friendly, like a little family-friendly crunch. Like
Family
no.
friends.
It is also worth pointing out that this was on 2 different cards. The art.
Onyar.
On your, again, 2 different sets. One of them was Japan only.
That's the same card with a different.
It is the same card. It's not that.
less energy cost.
I mean, lower energy cost.
I just said that.
You were in the middle of a yawn. I miss resistances.
I miss resistances.
Bisharp.
That's just a nerf.
It is just, yeah, that is just a nerf.
All
like,
around.
All around. Like, single lunge. Like, that's a good, solid move. For 1 metal energy?
Really good.
That's incredible. Honestly, yeah, no, this pack didn't have a super great showing of steel types. Did have Meltan, though.
Hey, that's pretty good. We'll take energy.
Yeah, and we'll get to Melmetal in a sec. But
I miss Multiply though.
yeah, Multiply is like we talked about Multiply with was it Metapod or Kakuna? I think it was Metapod.
Kakuna.
Okay. Or yes. Yeah, I just like that move. And Meltan seems like the one that would be able to do that.
Melmetal.
Just a better
What
version
the
of
fuck?
just a better version of Cloyster's ability.
Give me Metal Eater back. What the hell? Oh,
God damn! Hold on a second.
what?
And then a full-on nerf to Heavy Impact. Not only is it swap 2 colorless energy for 2 steel energy. What happened? I thought this card was good on the left, but then I see the one on the right, and I'm like, where was this?
Yeah, Metal Eater's incredible.
Yeah, why? And this makes sense for like Meltan and Melmetal feel like kind of the 152 and 153 to the original 151.
No.
No, you don't. Well, I mean, they were the only 2 other Pokemon in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. They were kind of.
I don't know why they were included in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. That was weird.
Well, their original game was Pokemon Go, so you could transfer them from Go to.
Wait,
Let's
really? The original game was Pokemon Go?
Their first appearance was in Pokemon Go.
So they just made this Pokemon?
Yeah, it's not technically part of a region.
How did I not know this?
How did you not know this? It is
Like, I knew it was in Pokemon Go, and I knew there was the Melmetal box, or the Meltan box, but...
It is in between. It is the Gen 7.5 Pokemon in between Alola and Galar.
They really just went and made a Pokemon for Pokemon Go.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that's kind of cool that they could just do that.
They still did it dirty, though.
That's yeah. Moving on to Dragon types.
What the f***? Why does it need 2 different kinds of energy?
I don't know. That's kind of a thing with Dragon type Pokemon. They do usually need multiple types of energy. Lost the weakness. That is a thing. Now that Fairy types are gone, Dragon types don't really have weaknesses.
Back in my day, there was no fairy type, and it should be weak to water, because water is ice.
And I guess dragons get cold easily.
Dragons are kind of like the dinosaur, I guess, in like Ice Age.
That would make sense, I guess.
Dragonair!
We didn't even really talk about the card.
What am I supposed to say? They made it do 40 damage, so it's
Upgrade,
above.
downgrade, side grade?
I mean, technically, it is above. It just requires 2 kinds of energy.
And this is what I was talking about. See, the Dragonair does require the 2 types of energy for Twister, and I think that I like what it is for the discarding an energy from your opponent. I think it's done well with Twister, where you can discarding only 1 energy doesn't really do much, but being able to discard 2.
Well, for each head's discard an energy, if both of them are tails, the attack does nothing. It's fancy surprise attack.
Yeah, but I think it works for what it is. Versus Tail Smack being just not that, being kind of whatever. Lower retreat cost, higher
Congratulations on doing damage.
HP. Yeah. Overall buff.
By the way, it does double Rabadash's damage.
Yeah. Like, buff.
Yeah. I guess.
Dragonite.
That's a cool move.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that works on TCG Pocket. It chooses... The game chooses four, like, a Pokemon 4 random times. It does 50 damage to each of them.
They only have one Pokemon with 200 damage.
That Pokemon, that is a pain in the ass. One of the easiest... You get that thing set up, very good. Though, Giant Tail... 5 energy! Hold on.
That is literally like the final boss of Surprise Attack.
Yeah. And then Dragon Wave is good too, although you have to discard one of each type of energy.
I'd say I like the one on the left enough to call it not a buff, but just the same.
That's a thing. That is one This is one of the best praises we'll give it. That is a thing that TCG Pocket has that the normal TCG doesn't. That is really interesting, and like a really good mechanic. I think it does it well.
I wonder if I have a Dragonite.
You might. I don't know. Moving on to normal types. Or colorless types. Whatever. Rattata was original. Eradicate. Colorless Rapidash! What's the point?
I felt like it had a lot more personality with escaping Scissors than Bite.
Yeah, I like the name. Opponent's active Pokemon is an evolution Pokemon. Switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. Honestly, gained some health, lost a lot of like, personality, I think.
Yeah.
Spearow was also original, so Fearow.
It's just weaker.
It's just weaker. Drogon. I don't think it should be 4 energy on that one.
In what world? Like, genuinely, in what world did Fearow need a nerf?
I don't... And, like, this is kind of a whatever card anyway. Like, both of them are just kind of whatever. Jigglypuff.
What did they do to my boy?
What did they do to my little balloon? I mean, yeah, singing voice and rollout just became Pound. Not the... Did lose some health. Yeah, I think this is by definition a nerf.
Definitely.
Yeah, which is a shame, because it's Jigglypuff. Wigglytuff, on the other hand, has an older card, so it's not fairy type. It's normal on this, colorless on this one. And honestly, Double Slap is Double Slap.
What an astute observation.
Thank you. Expand is okay.
Expand!
Yeah, I guess Wigglytuff is also a balloon. I've never really thought of it. I've always thought of Jigglypuff as the balloon Pokemon, but not really the same with Wigglytuff. But Expand would make sense for it. That gives it a little bit of character, you know?
Yeah.
Versus just 60 power hyper voice. Gain some health, but why?
Slightly stronger Rapidash.
And
I genuinely hate the fact that
and
they're
again,
so similar.
and again, why would you use this when there's the EX version?
Don't know anymore.
Meow.
That's right.
Buff. Just flat out buff. Lower energy cost, same damage, both payday, but you no longer have to flip a coin to draw a card.
Pretty good.
Also, yeah, health increase, I think I mentioned. Now, Persian.
No more friends?
Ignore all energy in the attack cost of each of your Pokemon in play that has the Catterday attack. There are a small selection of Pokemon that have that attack.
But could be pretty good.
Could be good. I don't remember what it actually does. Meanwhile, Claw Slash on its own is fine. Has no retreat cost, so I'd call it, like, usable?
Yeah, I personally am in the camp of just not evolving Meowth.
Yeah, honestly, Meowth is, like, yeah, Meowth is definitely not made to evolve into Persian because, I mean, Shadow Claw is not super You go from drawing your own cards to discarding your opponent's cards.
So I guess it's like you could have that utility if you want.
Yeah, but really, you're using Meowth for Meowth, not for Persian.
No.
I personally just use Meowth. Far-fetched.
He has gone from jabbing it to slapping
Yeah.
at a 2 reduced energy. That's significant.
That is quite significant. Like, honestly, buff.
I'd say.
Full-on buff. In a dire situation, the stock can also serve as food.
I love that. In a dire situation.
Only in a dire situation. Yeah. You never really think about that. Doduo was original. Dodrio is
That's a funny.
another colorless Rapidash.
It's all Rapidash!
I mean, this one has no retreat cost.
It's all Rapidash!
So this is... Raticate, same health as Raticate. This is just a 100% better version of Raticate. Different weakness. No retreat cost. I miss resistances.
It's just another Raticate, really. I do not like this.
Retaliate is okay. Retaliate on normal Rapidashes.
I do not understand their just absolute resistance to giving Pokemon multiple attacks.
I don't know. Like, they seem to just fully be delegated to EX Pokemon.
I hate that.
I hate that too. And even then, not all of the EXs have multiple moves.
Honestly, pretty cringe.
Yeah, I guess the Doduo on the right has some utility, but it's...
I would personally like for evolved Pokemon to have, more reason to use them. Because like you could just slap an EX in attack, but like for you to build around a Pokemon that has like a 2-stage evolution, it should be more powerful. Period.
Yeah.
And I think that they're doing a little bit better with that in this game.
Yeah, but it definitely would be nice to have the multiple moves. Licky Tongue.
Okay, at least he still licks.
Yeah.
Continuous lick.
Yeah.
Hey yo.
Yeah, all the flip a coin until you get tails, and it does multiple damage for each head's moves, have the word continuous attached to them. Which I think is a good... I like that it has a little bit of, like, continuity to it, almost.
I guess, yeah.
And, like, 60 damage per heads. Even for 3 energy, that
Which
could
is
be...
kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And, like, this is... Well, it could also do 0.
It could also do 0. But, like, even 1 heads, that is a solid 60 damage.
That requires you to win a coin flip.
That's true. Also, health increase, retreat cost increase. I would imagine that Lickitung on the right is more so used to be able to draw cards than Slam.
Yeah.
Although, with the 2 retreat cost, I would imagine there's better options as well.
Well, you could have one a little bit bulkier, or you could just use, like, as opposed to Meowth, this one's a little bit bulkier, and then the old set's guaranteed.
Yeah, that's true. Chansey!
Are you serious?
Yeah, Nerf.
It can no longer heal.
God, yeah, no, that's like Chansey's whole thing. Right?
Congratulations, you f***ed it.
That and also being hard to catch. So there's also no chance aspect to it.
I think Sympathetic Slap is a hilarious move.
I love that. Like just, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Reloads. I'm so clumsy.
If your opponent's active Pokemon already has any damage counters on it before this attack does damage, this attack does nothing.
Which is why I like that.
That's
a cool concept.
Yeah, and that fits with Chansey's like whole personality as well, because it's also like a nurse Pokemon where, like, in Legends Arceus, if you like have taken damage, like normally a Blissey would attack you, but if it sees you having taken damage, it will try and help you instead.
And that did happen to me, actually.
I love that detail. And I really like Chansey and Blissey for it. That and also just being Blissey. I have a lot to say about this Kangaskhan. Because that Kangaskhan card, which is exclusive to Japan, is not on Cerebi.net. Like, for a lot of the Japanese-only cards, I went to Bulbapedia for just because I wanted the cards to be a little higher quality in the
how'd
image.
that work out for you?
better than the alternative. All love to Cerebi.net. This card is not on there.
But you're not gonna go to Japan, track someone down with the card, and take a picture of it yourself?
It's a Ken Sugimori card. And it's not on Cerebi. Anyway, Buff. I hate this card anyway.
this thing.
Yeah, I hate this thing so much.
It's so fucking annoying. Because it's always it never works for you.
But it always works for them.
Someone else. And you're just sitting there, it's like 30, 60, 90, please stop. 120. Please stop. 150.
Well, it's just flip 2 coins, but they always get the 2 heads.
Oh, I can't read.
And I hate it.
What's up? My name's Jared, I'm 19, and I never fucking learned how to read.
Tauros.
I am mad that they got rid of that.
That is a really cool
Cool idea.
For each damage counter on all of your Tauros and Tauros GX.
Just run a Tauros deck.
That's
awesome.
Yeah. Although that would be like, deal a lot of damage. Take a lot of damage.
Okay.
Retreat. Take a lot of damage. Retreat. Ball.
You remember that one card where it was like, choose to do 80 damage to your own Pokemon?
Yes! That would... Ooh! I'm getting ideas here.
Not only does that work with this, but that also works with Beedrill.
You're right.
Just absolutely fucking ball.
Oh my god! And they just gave it Horn Attack with 50.
Cool art, though.
Cool art. I like the art.
Ditto!
The precursor to Mew EX.
Yeah.
Except this one needs the necessary energy. I like form variation. You may search your discard pile for a basic Pokemon and switch it with Ditto.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah. And then place Ditto on the discard pile. That's cool. And then, but not used to pay.
It's just pretty weak. I'm surprised it can even attack normally.
Yeah. Does 10 damage plus 10 more damage for each energy attached to Ditto, but not used to pay for this attack's energy cost. So for each additional energy. But you can't add more than 20 damage in this way.
I feel like that would combo really well with Copy Anything.
More than.
That is a typo.
That is, in fact, a typo. I am mad about it, and we are moving on.
Eevee!
There are 3 Eevee cards in this set.
No Gnaw?
Gnaw. Went from Gnaw to Tackle. These are identical. This is the second one.
Why are you here?
Search your deck for any number of Eevee and Eevee GX and put them into your bench, then shuffle your deck. That's just the best version of Multiply.
Yeah.
For any number. And then it lost that, but Tackle got buffed. Like, imagine using that to build like a huge, like, Eevee deck with all the different evolutions.
It'd be pretty cool.
Could work.
Oh, I went to go put Kakuna in my deck.
And then the third one also just had Nog.
I went to go put Kakuna in my deck and realized that it sucks now. I hate it here.
Yeah, there's nothing much to say about the EVs here, unfortunately. Porygon. Data Scan is okay. I've used it when I didn't have that many cards at first, but it isn't the most useful. Sharp Point just became Sharpen, got a little bit stronger. Digi-Charge.
That's funny.
I like that name. Flip 3 coins. For each head, search your deck for an energy. It's also just good. Digi-Charge is just good. Like, I think that would be... I mean, that is Moltres' thing now, technically.
Moltres is exclusive to Fire. And it just attaches.
Yeah. Well, as close as you could get to an equivalent in TCG Pocket. Aerodactyl.
Ancient Scream is funny.
Yeah. And then, yeah, Wing Attack is 40. Primal Wing Beat.
Just funny.
Just funny.
It cannot do damage.
Oh, your Charizard EX? No, it isn't.
Actually, no, it is not.
Your Charizard EX exists? I don't see it.
No.
Where'd it go?
No.
Obviously, change in type gives change in weakness. Yeah, the fact that this card is a normal type in this set is kind of interesting.
Why normal?
I don't know. Especially when Kabutops is fighting. It could have also been water, but it's fighting.
Kabutops.
I don't know why it's normal. And it got a fighting type EX card in the next set. So I don't know why it's normal here.
Just a quirky little guy.
Yeah. Snorlax. Nerf.
Where's Rock Smash?
I don't know. That's for 3 energy. Does 10 damage, has a chance to do 30 more.
I really don't think that deserved to be deleted.
I don't think it deserved to be 3 energy in the first place.
Well, it's Snorlax. It needs a lot of energy to move.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Got a buff in health, though. Minchino.
We've gone from slapping to smacking.
Yes.
Not much else to say.
Not really much else to say. Buff.
Yeah.
Chinchino. Got Do the Wave.
Do wave!
Versus Amazing Plea. Choose 2 cards from your discard pile, then ask your opponent if you may put them into your hand. If yes, put those cards into your hand. If no, this attack does 80 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. That is awesome!
I have this, please.
No. Okay, 80 damage.
Okay, die.
Oh my god. See, I did not read these when putting these on here, so these are genuine reactions of mine. I love that so much. Why is that? What?
No, that's just a cool ass move.
Yeah, no.
Give it back.
Ask your opponent again, just like the which card was it? That was kind of like Mr. Mime, where you have to guess if it's heads or tails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
These are just cards from Muffin Time. Oh, I love this. Now, final 3 are the Helix Fossil, the Dome Fossil, and the Old Amber, which, on the left, they all do the same thing. Play it as if it were a 40 HP basic colorless Pokemon. And it can't retreat, but you could discard it at any time. On the right, they also do the same thing, where instead, look at the bottom 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal an Aerodactyl you find there and put it onto your bench, and then shuffle the other cards back into your deck. Ammonite, Kabuto, or Aerodactyl, respectively. Very different.
interesting.
Yeah, very interesting how one is treated as a Pokemon in TCG Pocket. I like that it does that.
I think it's just a difference of philosophy, honestly.
Kinda. Meanwhile, the original the actual cards with the art on them does a completely different thing, and also has a chance to fail.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, that's all of them. And now that we've gotten through all of them, let's talk about what we've learned. So what has this discussion taught me? Well, first of all, I thought I had a really good idea of what I was talking about at the beginning. I feel like I proved myself wrong pretty quickly. I definitely got a lot of things wrong. But this did help me realize some significant things that TCG Pocket is missing from the physical card game. So, why don't we get the big one out of the way first? Moves. A lot of real Pokemon cards have 2 moves on their cards. But as we went through these cards, I realized that none of the normal cards in TCG Pocket have a second move. Abilities don't count. The only cards that have multiple moves are the EX cards. Cards that we didn't talk about very thoroughly before. Even then, only 7 out of 15 of them have 2 moves. That's less than half of them. It's a weird thing to have so little of them, when in the physical TCG, it's been super common ever since the very beginning. Also, a lot of TCG Pocket cards are missing things that make them any kind of way unique. Let's go through the list. Scyther, Salazzle, Golduck, Dugong, Swanna, Clefable, Slowbro, Swoobat, Sandslash, Onyx, Mienshao, Golbat, Bisharp, Dodrio, Chansey, and especially Raticate. That's not even all of them. Even Victreebel, which has its ability going for it, if it didn't have that ability, it'd just be another boring card like the rest of those. All those cards do damage, and that's about it. All really cool Pokemon left with nothing unique about them. And sure, not every card needs to be unique, but give them at least something. Like, even Starmie EX and Machamp EX have just damage and nothing else, which is kind of a shame. They're pretty cool Pokemon, especially when you could do such fun things with cards like the Electros, the Hypno, the Mr. Mime, the Chinchino we saw before, were cards that felt like they were pulled straight out of Muffin Time. Now you might be thinking what the whole point of this was in the first place, comparing the new cards from TCG Pocket to their old cards. I thought it was just a cute thing to do at first. But then I saw cards like Venomoth, Ponyta, Moltres, Cloyster, Staryu, Greninja, Golett, Melmetal. I saw how similar that the moves that they had were. I realized that there was actually an argument that I could make here. There's clearly some kind of inspiration taken from the old cards when making the new cards. Arguing that they're just the previous cards but worse is very valid when... Come on. It's not even subtle. So what's the point of even trying to make here? Is it that TCG Pocket is just the normal TCG but worse? Not really. I'd like to propose a different way of looking at this. Pokemon TCG Pocket is a great game in its own way. In fact, one of the cards already showed us something that TCG Pocket can do that the normal TCG can't, and that card is Dragonite. Attacking a random Pokemon in either the active spot or on the bench is a great mechanic, and it shows the potential that this game has to innovate on the card game in ways we couldn't do before. We could have a mechanic similar to something like Magnitude, where it will do a random amount of damage between, let's say, 20 and 80. There's so many possibilities, and the game is still being updated. So the only way we can go from here is up. I guess what I'm trying to say with all these points is this. Pokemon TCG is a great game in its own right, and that only has the potential to get better and wilder. But in its current state, if you were to compare it to the physical card game, you're going to be kind of disappointed. By the way, I already made the second slideshow, so be prepared for me to do this again.